Shalom, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom. Nobody can really hear you. I mean, you can't hear them speaking. They can only hear you.
Yeah.
Call it to the class, please.
Can't call it to the class. Phone's there.
Shoot, I need to use my phone.
Shalom, Mike Ziegler.
I'm going to use my phone to take the.
Maybe we should hit
notes.
the like button. Shalom, Derek White. Shalom, Denard Gilbert. Melek Saquan. Vic Ow. Shalom, Derek Johnson. We're going to begin the class shortly. We're just waiting on about 2 people.
That's Sister Dee. Shalom.
Where?
Yeah.
Shalom, Sister Dee.
All right, I'm going to call into the class now. Check, can they hear you?
If y'all can hear me, say, Khan.
Welcome. This service is provided by free conference call.
Yeah, they can hear us.
If you are the host, press star. Please enter your
No, explain to the people on the call that you're also live on YouTube.
Thank you. There is 1 host and 32 participants in this conference. Please announce yourself.
Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Brother Kanol. We're live on YouTube. If anybody wants to watch us on YouTube.
But the people on the call get first questions answered. They have priority.
Okay, Khan. So you pay attention to these people because I can't.
Just tell that to the people on the call.
So those of you on the call, when we get to questions, we're going to answer your questions first. But you pay attention to this because I can't see. Can you see?
Each of the books are stories. Israelite kings.
It's Christian James.
Do I have any soldiers on the call?
Mm-hmm. Shalom, this is Brother Yardan.
Yardan in the building.
Shalom, Brother Yardan.
Shalom, Yardan. Any prospects on the call?
Dude asked a question. He said he just started reading the Apocrypha and wanted to know if each of the books are stories of Israelite kings.
Not all.
I don't want Melek Zaquan, not all of them.
Salaki, who was that just talk? Is that Ikra?
Yo, you got that to the call.
That's what I'm trying to see.
He's got the comment.
Right.
Shalom.
Everybody, thank everyone that can. Thank them.
Okay.
Their roll call. So you want to can. I was having a call.
Khan. Shalom to.
Shalom Nachi Ezike. Chai Ezike. The water. The water.
I think that's it. Email. I think I'm friends with her on Facebook. We just want to start with yours because I got to wait for charging. Don't mind it. So the class is on modern religions and how and the history of religions as we know them now and as they were.
The water, Mike Ziegler.
Be gracious, you know what I'm saying?
The water, Mike Ziegler, for your support. For those of you that are in the Atlanta area, we are having a new moon service. You can email if you'd like to join us, the new moon service.
Yeah, we're going to put a video out. What's the date? August
29th.
29th. August 29th. Let them know.
You just did. So the new moon service is August 29th. For those of you that like to join us, just email us. You can look at the email in the description. Those of you on the phone, it's Sons of Thunder Israelites at gmail.com.
Oh.
This is very close to wicked.
Sons of Thunder Israelites at gmail.com.
You want me to read?
You want me to start it up?
Yeah, because I can't.
All right, so I'm gonna bring out. This is a.
You really didn't go get your charger out of the car.
You have like 4 lessons.
So I don't want to ask you to bring out a lesson on, well, some information that I found on the Methodist denomination. Shalom. I just want to bring out a couple of things that I did some research and found out. I don't want to have some precepts for it. So this is about the Methodist denomination. The person who started the Methodist Church is an Edomite named John Wesley. He came to America from England in 1735. He has roots in the Anglican Church, which is officially the Church of England, the first Church of England. The Anglican Church is part of the Protestant Reformation. I'm pretty sure all of y'all heard of that before. If you haven't, I'll give you a little breakdown on the Protestant Reformation, or Protestantism. It's one of the 3 major branches of Christianity, along with the Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy.
Yeah, no bad.
It shares with all other Christians core beliefs in the doctrines of the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus, the Caesar Borgia.
Okay.
The necessity of grace to save humans from consequences of sin, and the centrality of Jesus' death, resurrection for salvation. Composed of 100 denominations with an expansive variety of doctrines, rituals, religious practices, and Protestantism formed from the split with Romans and Catholicism during the Reformation in the 16th century. So this was all done, it all started with Martin Luther. I don't know if y'all heard of him before, but he was the guy who nailed his referendum on the church walls. That's where it all started from. So every church, whether it's Methodist, Baptist, Pentecostal, all those denominations stem from the Protestant Reformation. Okay, different Protestants rejected the Catholic faith or ways of worship, but particularly the Anglican Church maintained a lot of their ways. And so did the Baptist, the Presbyterian, the Pentecostal, the United Church of Christ. More or less, they kept some of the core values of Catholicism. And they spread their message and their word through what is known as missionaries. The fundamental ideas of the Anglican Church are adopted from the Protestant Reformation, like I said. Okay, so now I want to get into a little bit of what John Wesley found early during his travels and during some of his research on slavery. So one of his questions was about slavery was, why do we have slaves? Should we have slaves? And is it better for them to be us to be slaves? You know how they think. Esau thinks. So he actually wrote a book, Thoughts Upon Slavery. And so the first thing that I recognized when I came across his book was that he found out that the land, when he came to the land, it was very fertile. Let me read a little excerpt of what he saw when he came into the land. The part of Africa.
Just read on, brother.
All right. Shalakia.
You gotta watch it. Pick up where you left off.
Okay, so what I was saying is the part of Africa which the Negroes were brought, commonly known by the name of Guinea, the specific land area, extends along the coast in the whole between 3,000 and 4,000 miles from the River Senegal. This particular area, all the way down to the Cape Sierra Leone. It contains 700 miles. And it runs eastward about 1,500 miles, including the Grain Coast, the Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, and the Slave Coast. with the large kingdom of Benin. From thence it runs southward in 1,200 miles and contains the kingdom of the Congo and Angola. I read all that just to say that if you ever seen one of those old slave maps, it shows Judah, I think Levi.
It shows the land of Judah.
It shows the land of Judah. And all of those land masses are in these coasts, the Gold Coast, the Slave Coast, the large kingdom of Benin. So he's talking about us. Right? He's talking about our ancestors and our people. So first of all, he was saying the further you go from the sea, the more fruitful and well improved is the country. Abounding in pulse, they had Indian corn, various fruits, and vast meadows. They have large herds and great and small cattle. All the villages lie thick, and they show the country is well peopled. He was surprised when he came and saw all of this, because when we think of the lands of Africa, we think of it being what we see on TV as being desolate. But when they went into Africa during those periods of time, the land was fruitful. We had many forms of crops. We had many forms of cattle, and it was well prepared, well done. So the lowlands were divided with small canals and sowed with rice. Higher lands were planted with Indian corn, peas of different sorts. The beef is excellent, poultry of plenty and very cheap. So, in all the necessities of life were there. So, what the whole meaning of this particular part is that there was no need for us to be taken, from them to improve our life. There was no need. We was already living good. We had what we needed. We had the best of the best. Nobody was hungry. Everybody was fed. It's another thing that he found out. This is talking about the people. Okay, so particularly the natives of the kingdom of Buddha, which is Judah, were civil and kind, obliging to strangers, and they are the most gentlemanlike of all the Negroes.
I'm sorry, what are you teaching right now? What are you explaining?
I'm explaining what John Wesley found when he went into the west coast of Africa.
Okay, come on.
So he basically
make sure that people understand, what's going on.
So he basically met with this particular group of people right here was what we know as Judah. He basically is describing what the tribe of Judah was, how they act, their demeanors. So let me start over. They were obliging to strangers, and they are most gentlemanlike of all the Negroes, abounding in good manners towards each other. Their inferiors great respect to their superiors. So wives to their husbands, children to their parents, and they are remarkably industrious. All are constantly employed, and men in agriculture, the women in spinning and weaving cotton.
That's it.
I'd never even heard of that before until I read this, that we even dealt with cotton and things of that nature in Africa.
Salaki. So when he's bringing it up, if you pay attention to Deuteronomy 28 and 54, so it's when it says, so that the man that is tender amongst you, we were a tender people towards each other. We weren't always how we are now, where you can't look at your brother, you don't say hello to him, you just mean mug him. We don't look out for each other. If somebody's getting beat up by the cops, you just pull out the live or whatever. We had a love towards one another. It was a family.
We were principled men who take care of each other. We take care of the town, the villages, and we prevent tumults. We prevent people from coming in and fighting and causing mischief, ruckus. They punish murder and adultery severely, very frequently with death. Theft and robbery are punished by a fine and proportionable to the goods that were taken. All the natives of this coast, though they call them heathens, believe there is one God, the author of all things.
Salaki, and that's how you can tell the difference between our people and Esau and the other nations. They believe in multiple gods. It's showing you that we believe in one God, one true and living God.
That's
So
right.
we've always been the same. It's just Esau took you and broke you and made you what you are now. Negroes, niggers, wetbacks, whatever we're called, the byword and the proverb, and gave us this mentality we have now. We're broken as a people instead of being what we were before. Carry on.
So I wanted to bring back too that they also talked about how we kept, which would seem to be some of the laws. People who stole, we punished them proportionately, just like in the law. It talks about when you steal, those who committed murder, they got put to death. Those who committed adultery, they got dealt with severely. These are some of the basis which is in our laws. All right, so I'm gonna move down. So these are some of the counts of the natives of the kingdom of Benin. They said they were also reasonable and good-natured people, sincere and inoffensive, and do no injustice to each other. They are civil and courteous. If you make them a present, they indeed endeavor to repay it double. And if they are trusted to the ship return next year, they are sure honestly to pay the whole debt. So if they owe you something, let's believe they're going to pay the whole debt back. And once again, theft is punished among them, although not with the same severity of murder. If a man and a woman of any quality are taken in adultery, they are certain to be put to death, and their bodies thrown in a dunghill, left to prey to wild beasts. They are punctual, just and honest in their dealings, and are also very charitable. The king and the great lords taking care to employ all the capable of any work, and those that are utterly helpless, they keep for God's sake. So they took care of one another. This is something just like Elder Kanan brought out. Adawan Kanan brought out. It goes back to the laws. It goes back to the curses, how things changed. The evil eye towards our brothers. One more thing that I wanted to bring out about this book that he wrote was the deception in capturing people. He said, first, in the manner that they procured by fraud. A lot of people, they procured the people by fraud. At first, until they decided to procure a lot more by force. The Christians landed upon their coast, seized as many as they found, men, women, and children, transported them to America. It was about 1551, and the English began trading in Guinea. At first for gold and elephant's teeth, but soon after for men. They would tell the people to come and visit their ships and come and see how they was living. They would bring them down into the hold and lock them in there, and literally just take off from port, with you locked up in the hold. Next thing you know, you want to see for 100 plus days, hungry, defecating because they wouldn't let you clean yourself. They wouldn't allow you to eat proper foods that you were used to, and if they were feeding you, they're feeding you abominable foods. So getting back into John Wesley, in 1738, he experienced what he called an evangelical conversion, which is a worldwide trans-denominational Protestant Christian movement that believes the essence of the gospel consists of the salvation by through Jesus and the spread of Christianity. So they started going hard. I mean, spreading Christianity all over throughout the slave world, all of the countries that was endorsed in slavery. And there's many different ways they decided to do that. One of the ways they created a doctrine or a book. Is how to make a Negro Christian. All right, so and one of the major things with this book was, I'm gonna read it. What will be the benefits of giving enslaved Africans Christianity? It is a matter of astonishment that there should be any objection at all for the duty of giving religious instructions to our Negroes, and the benefits flowing from it should be obvious to all. The benefits we conceive to be incalculable, great, and of them there will be greater subordination against the Negroes. So that was basically the key to this book, for us to be subordinate to them by using Christianity to convert us.
God, a lot of Christianity and religions were used to, like the brother said, break the people and control you, because at the head of it was Caesar Borgias, who they depicted as your God. So when you depict a Edomite as your God, you would never go against them as a people, because as a people, you love them. There was just an Edomite that went into Africa. You saw this Edomite goes into Africa. He has a large gathering. People flock to him. And he died of what he died of? Immediately after he left, the Most High said, wait a minute. Bam!
I just want to read a little bit more.
Before you read that, Dawada, Raymond Rogers, for your donation. Dawada.
What I'm reading from a combination of different books and texts that I found doing some research on the Methodist Church and Christianity in general. This is connecting to some slavery. The book that I was reading from earlier is called Thoughts Upon Slavery by John Wesley. Another book that I was reading from that I took that quotation from is How to Make a Negro Christian. That's the name of another book.
There's an easy way to beat it into him.
That's right.
All right, so let me go back into. You good?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. As late as the 1800s, most slaves in the U.S. had not been converted to Christianity, believe it or not. In the years that followed, however, widespread Protestant evangelism, emphasizing individual freedom and direct communication with God, brought forth the first large-scale conversion of enslaved men and women. At first, itinerary ministers captivating large audiences at revivals and camp meetings across the North and the South. Now that individual freedom, that was just for them. It wasn't for us, believe that. Okay, across the North and the South, during the middle part of the century, reaching only a small percentage of the slave population with their calls to Christianity. Larger numbers of Black men and women were converted during the resurgence, intensification of the revivalism during the Second Great Awakening of the late 18th and early 19th centuries. At the time, Baptists, Methodists, and a whole bunch of other Protestant churches were ministering all across the U.S., all across the islands, all across the world, converting slaves into Christians.
Salaki, what you have to realize when they're converting people into these particular religions, they're not giving you "Thus saith the Lord." They're telling you that you have to wait until you die to get into the kingdom. While in the meantime, you're their slave and they're taking your children away from you. But these people were so scared, they were so broken, because that's what the Most High prescribed for us for not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that they fell for this. Go ahead. Read it all.
A good precept for that was Ephesians. A good precept for that was in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 6. Says, "Let no man deceive you with vain words."
And that's what we were given. We were given vain words.
That's right.
There's no profit in what they told us. Because they didn't give us these scriptures. Because if they would have gave you these scriptures, you wouldn't have went along with what they were saying.
That's
They
right.
were saying a whole lot of nothing that's in here.
That's right.
That's right.
Go ahead.
For because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh upon the children of disobedience.
And that's what we got. That's what you see in these churches. Children of disobedience. Children, lawless children who love lawlessness.
That's right.
That's why you go to church, so that you don't have to keep any laws. Go ahead.
Be not ye therefore partakers with them.
That's why we're not supposed to be partakers with them in any of these religions. Because none of them are profitable towards you. None of them are using this Bible. For all of these churches, the Bible, it sits, I don't know, somewhere in a church, and it's dusty. The page never moves. They probably move the page once. I don't go to church. Do they do that?
I think they would open in like one
Straight to
spot. And they just stay open. They don't.
They never turn the page.
I don't go to
Every
church
once in a
either.
while.
Huh?
I know, like in the Catholic churches, they
Yeah.
have like the gigantic Catholic Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It'll
bucket
just
of
be
water in there.
yeah, it'll just be open. They'll leave it. It'll be open.
They do
Oh,
take me
yeah.
out
Yeah,
of
they're
that water.
for the washing the hands and whatever.
They open it to the one scripture they're going to teach from.
And they just leave
That
it.
day,
You know, they put it on the sign outside.
Yeah.
Like today's service is
Uh-huh.
at 9 and 1. You know what I'm saying? They teach from one scripture the whole service.
I'm gonna speak from the heart.
go to any camp, you're gonna get more than one scripture in 30 seconds.
That's
Just
right.
believe that. You got more?
No, that's it.
All right, nice.
All right, so
Yes.
just like Ottawa James brought out, the message of Christianity had a common tone: teach obedience to their masters. One of the ways they attempted to balance their religious beliefs with the cruel facts of slavery by turning to their two favorite scriptures. One was Genesis 9:18 to 27.
Colossians 3:22. That's it?
Yeah. Ephesians 6:5 and 7.
Five, 6,
Okay, similar.
Yeah.
Oh.
We want to go to that?
Go ahead.
I didn't.
Call it
Like
out.
call it.
Just call it
That's
out.
Genesis 9:18 through 27.
Genesis 9:18.
These became two of the foundational texts for those who wanted to justify slavery on biblical grounds.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 18, starting in verse 18. And the sons of Noah that went, that's right.
9:18.
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman and planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward.
So they kept the commandment. You're not supposed to look upon the nakedness of your parent, but Ham is a deviant. He freaking, he did what he did.
And they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew that his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And
That's it. So they're basically trying to say that we were Ham. We are the descendants of Ham. We are the descendants of Canaan, and we get the curse, but we are not.
Well, let's get the proof for that.
Where you want to go?
Zondervan?
Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Oh, you want the
Ham.
Ham.
mhm.
You gotta pay attention to this guy. I can't really see it. So.
The scriptures just change his name, language to God. Fed the worst food on earth. Khan. Oh yeah, Khan.
Remember, the people on the call don't know what you're talking about. You gotta explain everything to them. The people that's on the call.
Are those of you on the call, y'all following? You got them muted? Okay, come on. Go ahead.
This is from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and it says Ham, perhaps hot one, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood.
So it's 8 people who lived through the flood. It's Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and then 3 daughters, and then 3 wives. 3.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Progenitor is the forefather of, the beginning of.
Not the Negroes.
So it says he's the forefather of all the dark races, but not the Negroes. That's why you have to ask yourself, who are we? When you look at a slave chart, it says Negroes for sale. You can't find a slave chart that says Africans for sale. It says Negroes for sale because they did know the difference between a Negro and a Hamite.
That's right.
But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So all of these people are the children of Ham. These are real Hamites. These are real Africans. Read.
This is Genesis, and it says you can read about it in Genesis 10, verse 6 through 20. And it also says, his indecency, when his father lay drunken, brought a curse upon Canaan.
Yeah, because he's a freak. So he decided he wanted to look upon his father. So Canaan was cursed because of that. Go ahead, you want to finish what you were doing?
Basically, what Adawan Kanal was saying, they justified this text to say that we were Ham, but we believe that we are the descendants of Shem. So they justify to say because of this curse. The second one,
the problem with Esau is they'll try to justify something hanging on one branch, but it's precept upon precept. He doesn't fall on any of the curses. They don't line up correctly. The curses that dictate who you are as far as being children of Israel. The curses do not fit any other people but the children of Israel. So you Negroes, Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans in these lands are scattered abroad. The people who the curses follow, that's the children of Israel. The people who have a wish or a fire to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, that's the children of Israel. The people who so-called call themselves Jews, they're contrary to the Bible. Everything they do is contrary to the Bible. You see, I have this on my head right here. My head's not covered. But a Jewish man, he'll cover the crown of his head with that little
yarmulke.
Yeah, that little cup he puts on his head. The little frisbee he puts on his head. He says that he's a Jew because of his mother. That's not what the scriptures say. You're a Jew or you're whatever you are based on the lineage of your father.
That's right.
Esau by nature is a freak and a homosexual. He will do homosexual things, like when you get circumcised, they bring you to the rabbi, and the rabbi will circumcise you in a way that's not through fellatio. I'm trying, I don't want to right on my back. I can't talk. No one else.
You want to bring out
on
how the fathers?
Pedigrees.
Okay, yeah, bring that up.
Right. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. So not the mother, but the father, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So that's how they were taking census. When they were taken down in the census, they would be represented by their last name or the name from their father. So.
All right. So the next verse that I wanted to bring out, how they used to keep us in servitude through the scriptures, was Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5 through 7. I'm gonna read the first part. How you read the second part? All right, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters.
They only read you certain verses.
That's right.
They read you that verse just to keep you subservient. They read you that verse, and then they showed you a picture of Cedro Borges. They had you locked and loaded. You was just gonna follow Esau wherever he said to go. Jump over this cliff. You jump. Yes, master. Are we sick, master? And you followed him. Read.
Now, according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, and singleness of your heart, as unto Christ, not with eye service as man pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will doing service as to the Lord and not to men. But they just bring out that one scripture. But if you keep reading the text further down, what they wouldn't let us read, bring that scripture out.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, same chapter. You go down to the 9th verse. And it says, and ye masters, do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him.
So they don't want to read that the masters have to treat the servants well also, in fear of the Most High.
Read out Colossians 4:1.
Colossians 4, verse 1.
Read that.
You got it?
Show Esau's hypocrisy.
Because Esau is a hypocrite by nature.
By nature.
That's
so
right.
if you were to have a slave, your slave is supposed to keep the commandments.
Con.
You're not supposed to be giving your slave chitlins and
slop,
dirt,
hey.
molasses, and corn. They don't feed you molasses and corn.
The what's it called?
I read a book.
Wheat germ.
Who had that book?
The leftover for the part that no one wants to eat.
It was Chris that had the book. When I was a slave, the slave owner, Esau, he gave the slaves raw meat and grass to eat. That's not keeping the commandments. Because Esau doesn't know the law. He's not born to keep the law. There's no truth in Esau. He can't do it by his own nature. Shalom. By his own nature, he cannot keep the law. He cannot listen to the scriptures. He's just gonna go with thus saith Esau. And that's it. Thus saith the devil. Read.
All right, this is the book of Colossians, chapter 4 and verse 1. You got to say Salah or Khan? Colossians chapter 4 and verse 1.
What's that?
Read.
Check it out.
Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal.
So you're supposed to give unto your servants what that is just and equal. You're supposed to keep the law, statutes, and commandments with them. You get them circumcised as you are circumcised. They don't work on the Sabbath just like you don't work on the Sabbath. Go ahead.
Knowing that ye also have a master in heaven.
That's right.
So basically, you have a master who, treats you right. So to keep respect to the Lord, you have to treat your servant the same way.
Go on.
All right, so we were taught to be obedient to our masters during slavery like they were Christ. And that's totally going off. Brother just brought us some good precepts. Another way how what was used for slavery was called the slave Bible. They took 90% of the Old Testament scriptures out, and part of the New Testament that could incite rebellion. I don't know if y'all can see this. Should I show this?
Yeah, put it all the way.
This is a picture. Can you see that? How the slaves was holding on to the master's feet and legs. I know y'all on the call, y'all can't see this picture.
No, watch.
Yes.
Hold it right there.
Yeah.
So this would be this right here is the man doing the auction, and that's the slave right there being pulled. If you can't tell what you're looking at, that's how it looks.
Yeah, Con.
Yeah, you got the screen protector.
Oh, well, I might have done it.
Take that. You can't take that off.
Con, that's better. Con.
Screen protector. Okay,
No, that's good like that.
Okay, yeah, that's a much better view. See, holding on to his feet, begging him. You know, don't separate us. And that fulfills the curses that your children will be given to another people.
And the curses will live with you forever. So right now we're getting separated. You go to the border, you saw separated families right at the border, putting kids in cages and sending their mothers and fathers back over the border.
Bring it out.
Read.
That's right. All right, so we're getting back into a little bit more about the Methodist Church. They were involved in all of these practices, because this actually was about the Methodist Church and churches in general. They were involved in all of these practices. It wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that the northern region of the Methodist views about slavery began to change, but not to the extent that they would openly oppose it. However, they actively supported better treatment for slaves, where their masters should take better care of their property.
Salaki, this was written by a white man.
Yeah, it
You
was.
wasn't getting no better treatment in the North.
It was.
You weren't able to get no job. You weren't able to do anything. Like, they just want to feel like they better than they redneck brethren in the South, but they're not.
That's right. The Methodists in the southern regions, though, their ideologies were entrenched in they got even tougher on their slaves, though, because this is right before the time of the Civil War, and they had a lot of talking going back and forth about separating North and South and abolishing slavery. So they buckled down on slavery. They started cracking the whip even harder, especially the churches.
And for those of you who are not very privy to it, the Civil War wasn't about freeing you.
Right.
The Civil War was about power.
That's right.
And the South having slaves and being able to make crops real cheap because they weren't paying labor made them more powerful than the North economically. It's all economics with the white man. It had nothing to do with you. He didn't care about you. The North had you in the military, and what they do, they put you on the front line so you could die. They didn't care about you. They were lynching you. These what are they? These Irish and all these people, to this day, they still run in North America. They don't let you. You can't go up to New York and be a fireman or a police officer. You can't do certain things up there because they control it. They always have. They controlled the factories.
That's right.
So when they wanted the land, they took the land. When they wanted the city, they took the city. They take what they want and they give you what's left over. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna finish this part up soon. So in 1844 there was a major split between the Northern and South Church, but regardless of their split, they both maintained the same rich beliefs in Catholicism. In the doctrine of Catholicism, they both portions they maintain the same belief. So both the North and the South, so-called separation of the Methodist Church, but they still had their core beliefs in Salakia. They both had their same beliefs in the Christian doctrine, Catholicism. Yeah, kind of. I had a couple of quotes from some slaves. I had a quote from Frederick Douglass. Want me to bring that up?
Yes, please.
This is a quote from Frederick Douglass I had. Reviewing the work of the white churches, Frederick Douglass had to say, between Christianity of this land and the Christianity of Christ, I recognize the possible difference, so wide that to receive the one as good and pure and holy is of necessity to reject the other as bad.
So when what do they call that? Black Month.
Oh, February, Black History Month.
When Black History Month comes around and you want to exalt this man, know that he doesn't believe in what you believe in. He doesn't believe in can we all just get along. He understands the scriptures were for the children of Israel and for nobody else. He understood that if these men are on the street corners bringing out the word, you shouldn't be trying to tell them that they're terrorists or whatever y'all want to say about us. We're Power Rangers, whatever y'all want to say.
That's corny. That Power Ranger line is whack.
They still using it like it's brand new.
Power Rangers don't even. If you look at it, we don't look nothing like that.
So every time they say that, they're just kicking the dead horse.
God.
I hope y'all. I'm gonna bring this back up from the top. I hope y'all can really hear what this brother is saying. You got something else?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Between Christianity of this land and the Christianity of Christ,
come out of her, my people. Read.
I recognize the widest possibility, the widest possible difference. It's a big difference in between the two.
There's a Gulf Coast difference between the two.
That's right.
The scriptures that you get out of the Bible and the doctrine that you get from church are not the same thing. These are telling you to be a holy people and to love your people. The church is telling you, can we all just get along, and to turn the other cheek so Esau can slap that one also. Mm-hmm. This is not the same. If who said that?
Frederick Douglass.
If Frederick Douglass was here today, he would call all of you coons. He would say, don't. What?
Frederick Douglass is an Edomite.
Well, that Edomite knew more than what these.
Bringing out some powerful message on this one.
Period.
Father's so-called white grandpa.
Read.
All right. So it was so wide that to receive the one as good and pure and holy is of necessity to reject the other as bad, corrupt, and wicked. So we already know the truth of the message of Christ is good and holy and pure. But the Christianity of this land, what he's saying is bad, corrupt, and wicked. To be the friend of the one is a necessity to be the enemy of the other.
God, we can't all just get along. You can't ride the fence. It's get down or lay down. You can't be of this world. Read your precept real quick.
All right. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
So he's saying, come out of her, my people. Come out of the doctrines of this world. Come out of the doctrines of this world and get into this Bible. Seek ye out of the book and read. Read.
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
Don't be partakers in the sins of this church. Don't be partakers in the sins of this land. There's no such thing as a Black History Month. It's Israelite year. It's Israelite everything. Read.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
So you don't want to receive from the plagues of Babylon. This place is going to be destroyed, and you don't want to be destroyed with it.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities.
So the Most High is not forgetting this slavery. He's not forgetting how you threw the people of the land out of the land, threw us out of Jerusalem, like it was okay. Like we were supposed to forget that. We don't forget that. There's a remnant that remembers. We're coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And when the Most High puts us in power, it's over for you. Read.
All right. So
Got more?
Reward her as that was it.
All right, so it says, I love the pure, peaceable, and impartial Christianity of Christ. I therefore hate the corrupt, slave-holding, woman-whipping, cradle-plundering, partial and hypocritical Christianity of this land.
That's right.
Indeed, I can see no reason but the most deceitful one for calling the religion of this land Christianity. You got that last
I'll
line?
stay there until he's done.
Did y'all hear that last line on the chat?
Read. And on the call, y'all listening? Y'all hear us? Are we clear? All right.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to indeed, I can see no but if I'm gonna bring it back up because that was strong. That was strong right there. I'm gonna bring it back up. It says, I'm gonna go back to I love the pure, peaceable, and impartial Christianity of Christ. I therefore hate the corrupt, slave-holding, woman-whipping, cradle-plundering, partial and hypocritical Christianity of this land. Indeed, I can see no reason but the most deceitful one for calling the religion of this land Christianity. So Christianity is supposed to be the following of Christ. Frederick Douglass said, I see no reason for them to even have a religion following Christ with the things that they do.
Give me James 14 and 23.
James 14.
23.
There's no James.
John 14, 23. You know what I mean.
You got it. You got it.
I got 97 too.
Read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 97 and verse 10. Ye that love the Lord hate evil.
So if you love the Lord, you hate evil. Read this again. Hold that. Read that again. Yeah, you read it.
All right. I love the pure, peaceable, and impartial Christianity of Christ.
Stop. Read.
He preserveth the soul.
No, read from again.
Oh, so ye that love the Lord hate evil.
Read.
I therefore hate the corrupt, slave-holding, woman-whipping, cradle-plundering, partial, and hypocritical Christianity of this land.
That's right.
Read it.
That's what it is.
He that preserveth the soul of his saints, he delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked.
So you have to get out of the hand of the wicked. You got to stay away from these churches. They're all evil. I don't care what they call themselves. First denominational, whatever, Baptist, Christianity, whatever. It's evil. Get into these lost statutes and commandments. Read it.
That's right. This is the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 23.
Hold on. Go ahead. Read.
Jesus answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words.
So he's supposed to keep the words of Yahweh. Read.
And my Father will love him. And we will come unto him and make our abode with him.
So you're supposed to come out of her and come into the word of the Most High. Somebody said Salaki. Go ahead.
What was the verse in Psalms?
The verse in Psalms? 97 and 10. 97 and 10. Who's that? Who said Salakia? Who asked that question about 97 and 10? Is that a soldier? Huh?
For the Rob, he a prospect.
That's the prospect?
Yeah,
Okay, Khan. Go ahead. Who said Salaki?
What's going on here? Somebody comment.
I'm sorry.
just one of the many biggest jokes in history. That's right. Yeah.
No, pay attention to what you're doing.
That's right, Brenda Howard.
Okay.
Hold up.
I'm done with this.
You done with it?
Yeah. You got who else? You ready to come?
So we're gonna jump into the next denomination real quick. We got about 4 of them to go through. You're gonna go and then I'm gonna go through.
Pretty much already got mine when he was talking Christ. Pretty much already got through mine.
Yeah, both have Christ.
Oh, yeah. What was
Oh,
it?
they're all going to be the same. All these religions are the same.
The same con.
They're all the same.
They're all the same. They're all wicked.
Go ahead.
All right. I did this on Catholicism. Obviously, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to go throughout all of Catholicism because there's a lot of different sects and whatnot and history in Catholicism. So I'm gonna only be dealing with a couple sects. Mostly dealing with the tribe of Gad and dealing with on the east coast of the United States in the Americas. Whenever during the time of the first French and English colonial period.
Bring it out.
Catholicism is one of many religions used as a weapon against the true children of Israel. For over 500 years has Edom pushed Catholicism onto the entire world as a weapon of influence and domination, wherein all the tribes of Israel residing in the Americas have been victims to the nightmare that is Catholicism, leaving us a destroyed people. Today, I will be dealing with the accounts of only one of the few of the many sects and cults that exist amongst the Catholic Church. Each and every sect or church, while having different methods when it comes to their missions and implementations of their so-called gospels, ultimately function under the similar doctrine and rituals that the Catholic Church do under the papal order.
Salaki, if you pay attention to these churches, they are cults, all of them. They call us cults, but they are a true cult. They don't go by anything but demonology. Okay, hold on. You're following the nature of a pedophile. That's what they are. They're a bunch of pedophile and homosexuals. You're following a people that follow the devil, literally. That totally forget scripture, turn scripture upside down, just to exonerate themselves because they want to free Edom. They don't even want you to know who Esau is. They don't read out of the Bible, so you don't even know your history. They're trying to whitewash and erase what is rightfully yours.
So, and dealing with if you do the research, because there's a multitude of rituals that they go throughout all the different days of the weeks. Just looking at their rituals alone, I mean you can tell it's off. There's something wrong with what the rituals that they do. So,
thank you, Akarab. Watch this for me because I can't really see that.
What's
that? Somebody's asking questions about a cow. I guess.
Eat a cow, but I'm supposed to retain the lesson first.
Icarop got him in the chat.
Tell them if they do not speak concerning this lesson,
yeah,
they out of here.
Icarop. All right, it's all right. Go ahead.
All right. I got a precept that was talking about how these churches are cults. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
The synagogue of Satan. That's them fake Jewish people. Read.
Which say that they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
They do lie because they are the devil. They are the deceiver on this planet. Read.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Read that last part again.
So, behold, I will make them come to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So the Most High loved us. He's gonna make them all come to our feet and know that He loved us and only us. What does that say?
Beard of bully.
Beard of bully. All right. The Most High doesn't change.
That's right.
He doesn't care about these other nations. Go ahead and get yourself 2nd Esdras 6 and 54 and read that. Get Obadiah and read that. Then come back and ask me that question again. You got it?
Oh, sorry.
You ain't gotta get it. Give me second address. 6 and 54.
Yeah. This is the book of
The
Second
son has a
Esdras.
question, and he wants to know: in the future, will the Most High ever change his mind about the other nations? Read.
This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 54.
All right, hold Malachi. Actually, read Malachi first.
All right.
He asked this question. I'm gonna answer real quick.
All right, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not.
Right.
The Most High don't change. He's not going to change his mind in the future. He's not going to say, "Oh, you built some wells in Africa, so I'm going to let you live." No. He's not going to say, "Oh, you finally turned the water on in Flint, Michigan after 10 years, and you still haven't done that." I'm making stuff up just for you. Still hasn't done that. There's no. He found no place of repentance. He's just gonna cry. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. You never will. Read.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return?
Read second.
This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
We all come from Adam. This scripture gets read every time I speak.
That's
Read.
right.
It's my favorite scripture. Read.
And the people also, whom thou hast chosen.
Because he chose a certain people.
That's right.
Read.
All this have I spoken before thee.
Wait. He chose a certain people. Let's get that. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. What do you hold? You say you had a precept.
Numbers 23:19.
Okay. You got it. If you got to read it.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 7:6. Read
This is
it.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has
We are a
chosen
holy
thee.
people, so this holy Bible was for these holy people. Read.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
A special people are people like everybody else.
A special people unto himself.
Unto who?
Unto himself.
Read.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Racism. Read.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
See what it said? He made the word for our sake. He's 13 years old. Thank you. Okay, we just read it for his edification. Read.
As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
15. Read.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us.
So these people that he called spittle, these people that he's called nothing, and are called less than nothing, they've begun to be lords over us. The Most High makes the scriptures come alive all the time. The other day, they had a man walking, a king walking, and some servants on horses dragging him to the prison house. Why? Because the scripture said so. That's why. Read.
And to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thine only begotten, and thine fervent lover, are given into their hands.
So we are his lover. We are given into their hands, the hands of the wicked. Read.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess and inherit with the world?
Real easy. You didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Precept.
This is a precept for the brother who asked if the Most High is going to change his mind ever.
I never read that, but read it anyway.
This is Numbers chapter 23 and verse 19. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good?
Gone. Bring that up.
Isaiah.
Matthew 15:20.
I got it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24.
We're straying from the lesson. We're going to read this and go back. Go read.
Right. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So Yahushua is not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who's that?
He's saying, get out of the country, I hack the chat.
Oh, yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, he said,
All right, whoever that is, get lost.
Hey, Buddha, you know how to do it?
Yeah, he did it. All right, let's get back to what we're doing.
All right. So one of the larger sects that had put their hands upon Israel is the so-called the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits. This organization was founded by Ignatius de Loyola with the approval of Pope Paul III in 1540. Spaniard, approved by the Pope, who was also a Spaniard. After their foundation, they began establishing schools throughout Europe and sending out missionaries through the world to those who have yet to hear of this so-called gospel. What they have called their West, which is basically they called it their gospel, but really in the end, what it is their Western culture, their thoughts and theologies.
What y'all have to realize, this is crafty counsel. This is a setup. You've been set up and you just let it go through. They ran their whole play. Straight through. Read.
Originally, they had one of their rivals were the so-called Protestants. They were in a competition for followers and influence, throughout the lands wherever they established their missions. But in the end, the Protestants and the Catholics, they worked together against Israel. In certain places, at least in Europe, the Jesuits' zeal overcame their rivals, and they gained from them doing that, they gained a further backing by the Pope, which allowed them to go to the so-called New World.
Hey, Ariel, tell the people your tribe. Tell them who you are.
I'm from the tribe. I am from the tribe of Gad.
Let them know.
My father's father is Picani or Blackfoot, South Pagan. I actually, honestly, to be 100% with you, because I know I'm Native. I'm Native also on my father's father and mother's side, and his mother's side as well. But another thing too, I've actually personally done some research recently, and I've also because I also understand that my ancestors, when it came to battle, you would capture your defeated enemies as servants, and you would induct them into your tribe. So truly, you can't really know what tribe you're in, because they could say they're from this tribe, but their fathers were, their fathers was captured in battle, so now they're from the other tribe. But in the end, it doesn't matter. From the tribe of Gad, that is my ancestors, and I'm gonna bring this out too in some of this stuff that that I have dealing with the Catholics, with the schools and whatnot, because that's one of the ways that they use it against Israel. They wanted to kill the native and save the man. So you have so many natives that are living amongst the land calling themselves white people, and that's also that's a mute your phone.
Mute your phone.
But and so that's why you'll have natives and even Hispanics and going all the way down to South America that are light skinned. So if it's something about the like this colorism stuff, that's a tactic that the damn Edomite uses. So I mean, like we just brought out too, we go by the blood of our fathers, and from the blood of my father, I am an Israelite from the tribe of Gad.
That's right. And Diego Sanchez, you can't tell us who your father's father is, you scoffer. And you don't stand nowhere and push the word. You don't show your face. You come in the comments and disrupt the teaching, man. We getting tired of these coward moves.
Stands. We're putting our faces out here. We're putting our lives on the line. Y'all sit on the comment board. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody really cares who you are.
But the point is, see, we're actually trying to give you information so you can learn about your people. Diego Sanchez, you know, if you really are truly Hispanic, if you're not a Spaniard, if you're truly Hispanic, you are an Israelite. So we're trying to bring this information out to you so you can learn, but you're steady trying to scoff to try to get some people to joke or whatever. Like, don't disrupt the word of the Lord. So
read that.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
This is how to get rid of him?
yeah, remove it. That's it.
What happened?
Audrey, go back to Africa.
Oh no, he's out. He don't even go to timeout. He's out.
Yeah, remove.
Hide user on this channel. Yeah, he's out. Goodbye.
Forever.
And then look at his rapid fire comments. You got to be kidding me, man. Get back to the word of the Lord.
Complete scoffer.
Read that.
Like Romans 6.
Read it.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness.
It's the Spirit that bear witness. Read.
With our spirit.
With our spirit. His spirit bears witness with my spirit. My spirit bears witness with his spirit.
That's
Our
right.
spirit bears witness with the truth. Your spirit, I don't know, bears witness with scoffing. Read.
That we are the children of God.
That we're the children of God. Try to learn something instead of being a scoffer.
So,
You don't like what we're saying? Go make yourself a channel, put in your brick, go on a corner, and teach something.
I got a precept.
Read.
Now this is John chapter 6, verse 65.
Bring it out.
And he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father.
He just have like.
he's just spamming the chat. Liar, don't.
You got different channels.
How many channels do we have?
No, it's
have like 3 or 4.
So like, yeah, this dude probably has like 7 accounts open on his different. He has like 12 Chromes open with all his accounts.
Just keep kicking him out.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
I want the people to be able to keep up with the scribing and everything.
Did you read your precept?
Yeah, it was John chapter 6, verse 65. And he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father.
God.
So I want to say something else too. It's, you have to understand too. You have a lot of Israelites. They have the blood. They are Israelites by blood, but also says too that 2/3 aren't going to make it.
Gotta go.
So even though you might have the blood, because you're not doing the things you're supposed to do, following the commands and fearing Yahweh, and just all you're doing is scoffing, you're going to be part of the 2/3 because you're not focusing on doing the work. You're focusing your mind. You're being double-minded. You're not focused on this. You're focused on your scoffing.
All of Israel is not Israel.
All Israel is not Israel. Come on.
That's right.
So like Adawan Canal always says, somebody got to be the 2/3.
Somebody has to be the 2/3.
Let's get back to that.
All right. So this is speaking about the colonization period. During the French colonization of New France in the 17th century, the Jesuits played an active role in North America. One of the French explorers, Samuel de Champlain, had established a colony in Quebec and was aware that the native population had lived around what is the so-called modern-day Quebec. That's where the name the name of the city Quebec comes from the fort that they created. That they lived around Quebec, Lake Simcoe, and the Georgian Bay. Tribes which resided there were the Montagnais, the Algonquins, and the Huron.
I heard of Algonquin.
Algonquin kind of, split up, but it's a big portion. Champlain had taken the natives to be savages, men whose souls needed to be saved, and ordered for the Franciscans, another sect. I think they are almost like the Protestants, to convert the native population. But when the Franciscans saw the task that was at hand assigned to them, they invited the Jesuits to help with their mission. Upon beginning that mission in Huron, their city that they called Huron in 1626, Jean de Brebeuf and the other Jesuits began creating dictionaries of the languages of the natives of whom they wished to convert, a tactic that the church has implemented into converting numerous populations by learning their language and coming to them with a smooth tongue in their language, and also translating the Bible into that language, which obviously those certain specific Bibles they obviously edited. Same thing like the brother brought out about the slave Bible. The brothers they knew they were taught English and whatnot, but the slave Bible they chose and put certain precepts in there, like we talked about. What was it with the about serving the master?
Yeah,
Colossians. Scriptures like that. So they did the same thing to the natives as well.
So, Lucky, when they first came over here, the devils, they came with coons. They came with translators. Just like the brother said, so they could come with a smooth tongue.
That's right.
They came with them eminent.
Brother says, Lucky, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's called a slave.
I think it was literally called the slave Bible.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you're in the comments on YouTube asking questions, wait until the class is over. We'd have the open session where we answer questions. What he said?
He said that he would.
It don't matter.
Y'all keep teaching.
That was wicked.
You can Google the slave Bible.
You can probably you can find a PDF of the slave Bible. It's actually real small, not that many pages.
Why would someone say something like that? Y'all go ahead. No. Just teach, bro. People waiting on you.
He says a lot.
To the brother that says Salaki, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think he's asking about the slave Bible a lot. Okay. They would use this newfound knowledge to bring out that so-called gospel that I spoke about earlier into common light for their ease of conversion. In 1639, they had determined that a more permanent settlement was necessary for their missionaries, which became a headquarters. So the School of Jesus, the Jesuits, this mission that they had in Quebec became a headquarters in North America for the School of Jesus and for their priests and whatnot. The creation of these missions was also another tool that they had used amongst many of the Catholic sects, where their creation of living replica of European society worked to influence and push not only religion but also European thought and living unto the so-called savages that they called the Gadites.
That's wicked, man.
The Jesuits began eventually.
Salaki, how can you call somebody a savage when they kept you alive through one? When they taught you how to live, but they're savages.
So like the first colony that was from England was a complete failure, and actually there's another colony before the ones that a lot of people, I forgot the name of it, but basically it was a colony sent by the king, and they started to begin to build, and the guy who was in charge, he didn't like it there, so he left. And when he came back to bring more reinforcements and more people, they came back and it was gone, and nobody knew what happened to them. So obviously, they couldn't make it. They starved to death. And we obviously raided and took all the leftover stuff that they had. But then even after that, they were still having troubles. And at that period, at that point, we came and we helped them. We helped them with sharing their food and seeds and stuff like that actually can grow in that land, because some of the things they brought couldn't grow in that land because it's for European type climates and whatnot. But if it wasn't for us, this whole colonization would be pushed back a couple hundred years.
Hold on one second, read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. Everybody got it? Say, huh?
They don't have to get it, just read.
Oh, okay. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him.
Bring it out.
So you came over here, and people who are at peace with you, you put your hand towards them. You want to kill them, slaughter them. Read.
He hath broken his covenant.
So you broke your brotherly covenant. But now you want to say we all the same. We all come from Adam. We brothers. You want to bring up what is that scripture? Deuteronomy 22. What's that scripture they? Don't abhor Edomite.
Are you about to deal with that right now?
No.
They like to bring that up.
We always gotta teach now.
No, we're not teaching that. I was just wanted the precept. Go ahead, read.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
So the words of his mouth are smoother than butter. The white man always want to tell you something that sounds nice. He says it in a nice, a high-pitched voice. You want to sound like he's being cool to you, but read.
But war was in his heart.
War is always in his heart. He pull you over for
broken tail light,
or whatever he's pulling you over for. Don't run. He'll shoot you in the back.
Yo, man,
throw his taser next to you.
A police stop is a life and death situation.
Every single time.
It's real, man.
Every single time.
That's why the scriptures say, make no fault, lest he take thy life away presently. So, that goes with Yahushua's teaching. Agree with thy adversary quickly. Stop trying to, these niggas be on TV crying. I can't believe they treated our people. I can't believe the president said that. And they start crying. The correspondents, the news guy. Esau don't care about your feelings, yo. When he see you cry, they laugh. They get together and laugh and cry laughing. Stop that crying, man. Come over this side of the truth. Tell Esau where the hell his judgment is and where he can go. Have Esau kissing your damn feet on the street for the nations to be an ensample to the nations.
That's right.
And when you speak to him royally, so he knows that he's kissing a king's foot.
That's right.
Yeah, speak with some royal flair, man.
Don't be cussing all the time. Like
have royal fashion in your speak, man. Sometimes I speak the King's English, y'all. I'm telling you. Sometimes I go into the King's English, man. I'll bring a parable out when I'm just talking. Esau just be looking.
The jaw drop.
Who learned you that, boy?
Who learned you that? Where you learn to talk like that? It's like it.
Read.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
He won't suffer the righteous to be moved.
That's right.
That's why we're going to keep bringing out this word. And it's not going to stop until Yahushua comes.
That's right.
No matter what you do, no matter how many scoffers, professional scoffers you got, graduating scoffer school, coming into the camps, coming into comment boards, going on all the social media, it's not going to help you.
That's right.
I want it tonight, man. Hey, if you're on the call and you're making noise, mute your phone.
It's not hard. Just mute your phone. You can still hear us. We don't need to hear you. Read.
Or come into YouTube, man, and close the phone down. Y'all carry on with the word of the Lord.
Read.
Verse 23. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction.
That's right.
Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days.
So you bloody and deceitful Edomites, you're deceitful. And you're bloody. You love blood. You love the murder.
He has not hated blood.
You've never hated blood. You eat blood. You like to see.
Since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. What's that? That's Ezekiel.
It will pursue you. You got little baby Edomites that they go hunting and they
Eat
cut
the heart.
heart.
Yeah, I seen it.
So I did.
Or this one female, she cut the whole torso and got in it and slept.
I seen that. I seen that.
You love blood for some strange reason. You're gonna have your own blood upon you, and that's gonna be a beautiful day. Somebody says hello.
Actually, I learned recently that the original word Eskimo was originally made by the Native Americans, and it means eater of raw meat. That means
It's like expanding on that, the so-called Eskimos. If you look into, we have stories, with the Dene or the Navajo, also with the Apache and a couple other tribes in the Northeast. When it comes to like Eskimo, we actually believe that they are Moab, because in the history with the Dene, it talks about a war with people who came from the far west. They were like another people, and there was wars during that time. And these people, the word Eskimo, they ate flesh. And what do? They eat frozen flesh, raw.
They eat beluga. They eat whale fat.
Just right off, because like it's frozen, they just eat it like popsicle.
Yeah.
I got a precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Saith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
That's right. Because you haven't hated blood, you've always loved blood. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
That's right.
He's gonna use us.
Go ahead, Al.
What verse is that?
Ezekiel 35 and 6.
You got it? All right. Go ahead.
So the Jesuits began to eventually see success in their conversion of Native Americans into Christians, though through study and making of dictionaries of the native languages using a smooth tongue. They also continued to establish more chapels and baptizing thousands of natives, in the water and whatnot. But ran into problems when the Iroquois was one of the tribes mentioned. So you have the Huron, you have the Georgian Bay natives, and I forgot the name of the other tribe, so I didn't write that down. But eventually they came into war with the Iroquois, who they basically hated them because they're basically becoming friends to this so-called invader. You can look it up. It's called the Beaver Wars, and the French people, they sided against the Iroquois, and so the Iroquois had attacked and destroyed the invaders who imposed this new culture unto the people. These continued attacks and raids on the Jesuits had resulted in a temporary halt of Jesuit missionary work, moving them to halt their efforts for some time. Also during this time, the 7 Years' War had also begun, thus New France coming into the hands of Britain. This model of missionary work to convert the Native Americans with Catholicism was used extensively throughout the Americas, where the abuse and harshness was at a greater extent than what it was used in North America and Central and South America. So, like I said, you have different sects in the Catholic Church, and even in this sect itself, there's a whole nother lesson going on with Mexico and some of the countries in South America. So, a form of implementation of this Catholicism was the use of the boarding schools. Numerous bishops and priests partnered with government officials and even their Protestant rivals in a shared project of forced assimilation of the indigenous people throughout the 16th and towards the 20th centuries, participating in family separations and involuntary placement of Native American children into the schools where abuse was a regular occurrence. According to the Benedictine priest, he argued that it was up to the white Americans to pull the indigenous people out of their filth and ignorance.
Hey, that's what we always talk about. Manifest destiny.
Con.
Right?
Con.
When I was in school, I had a Irish Edomite history teacher, and one of our test questions was called, "What is the white man's burden?" That was one of our test exam questions. What is the white man's burden? The answer to that question is, the white man's burden is European explorers feel the need to civilize the people they come in contact with. That is called the white man's burden. That was a test question. All right? So listen to the brother, man. Listen to what he's saying.
There's a problem with that, though. Esau is not civilized.
Right.
That's right.
Nor has he ever been civilized.
So like there's a parable. Actually, I think it's been shared orally for so long they don't have the name for the brother, but there's a native elder, and he said, you know, white man comes to change the ways that we're living. We have everything. We're able to hunt. We're able to be with our families. We're able to be in battle. We're able to enjoy the land. And then at the end of the day, we go home and into our houses and wigwam and teepees, and we get to be with our woman, and that's it. And so, what other paradise is there from that?
Jacob dwelt as a plain man dwelling in tents.
That's right.
That's all he want to do.
Just want to just live and praise the Most High.
That's it.
But what does Esau give you? Esau gives you death, disease, famine, plagues. He takes away He takes away your fields. He takes away the greenery. He gives you concrete.
This devil makes animals go extinct, man. You know how many beautiful animals you never got to lay your eyes on, man? Because he done destroyed them.
Some of y'all, if y'all don't have kids quickly, they're never gonna know what a giraffe is.
A giraffe is going extinct, man.
I heard that.
And they still hunt.
And the polar bear, you think the polar bear, we used to it, Coca-Cola. We used to the polar bear. Polar bear's about to be out of here, man.
Some of the polar bears starting to come.
They're coming down.
They're
coming down. You know, they're in garbage dumps. You see a polar bear in a garbage dump in like Russia.
Looking famished.
Yeah. Ribs touching. That's Esau, man, because he's the end of the world.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Pull the indigenous people out of their filth and ignorance. Then came the doctrine in the Catholic schools to kill the native and save the man, where the school's mission was to remove the native culture and supplement Western culture into the natives, and to raise the children on the idea that the so-called white man was God through, Jesus Christ or Cesar Borgia. Also, the implementation of marrying into white women and men to lose themselves as a people and renounce their heritage as indigenous Americans, because being indigenous was shameful.
Salaki, that's why the scriptures say don't make marriages with them.
Right.
That's exactly what they wanted you to do. Lose yourself in their folly.
So they awarded and praised those who took this brainwashing and created a further division and discourse amongst the native population. So you got the ones who, they're the coons. They go out, get a white wife, become American, disanounce or basically say that they're not Native American anymore, having division and infighting with the natives who are like, why are you doing this? Like, you're going off. Like, you're coming against your own people. And so there was division. And to be honest, it's still like that today. Really throughout all the Northern Kingdom, in Mexico, there's that colorism. You also have the other things, political and whatnot. It's just all division.
That also happens in Cuba.
Cuba?
What a lot of people don't know. James Jones, I think he said to get rid of him.
Hey, James Jones, go look at the wall. Carry on with the word of the Lord.
I'll put him on time. Get rid of him.
Nah, let him stare at the wall.
Rockhots.
Icarabia said get rid of him.
Yeah, I can't watching it. So if he says,
Yeah, he's
All
watching.
right, kick him out then. Kick him
Khan,
out.
yeah, listen to the other one. He says, "Don't be rude on here."
James Jones. Yeah, get him out.
right there.
Hey, I don't hit you with the laser guns until you make me mad. But Icarab don't care.
Yeah, I have no time for that. Okay, so
Y'all go.
Wait, go up a little bit. Something you said I wanted to expound on. No.
oh, and here, where the schools was to remove the native culture and supplement Western culture into them, and raise the children on the idea that the so-called white man was God. Also, the implementation of marrying into white women and men, and for the men and the men to lose themselves as a people and renounce their heritage as indigenous Americans, because being indigenous was shameful. They awarded and praised those who took to this brainwashing and created a further division and discourse amongst the native population.
Those are coons. That's your
Join the army. Now you're their friend.
That's your Oprah Winfrey. That's your Michael Jordan. That's all of them people.
Back when Donald Trump was, that stuff was happening when he was becoming president in 2016. There was a story about an Ishkarite brother who is an American. He was supposed to be a citizen, and they deported him. And before he left, he came to the news, or his children came to the news and said that when he joined the army, they said that because he would do that, he would become an American citizen. But look what they did. They rewarded him with it, but the damn white man is so-called white man is the devil, and he straight up lied to him and deported him anyway. Even though really, because joining the army, that's a really big thing, because in the army they break who you are down so you can become a part of them. And especially when it comes to Israel joining the army, they break us down. They make us think that we're them and whatnot. And in the end, like the brother was saying, they put us on the front lines to be the first ones to die.
Yeah, if you pay attention, whenever you see like a group of people in the military when they're hanging out, you'll see one Jake and a whole bunch of Esau. I don't know if they split them up on purpose like that, but you never see a whole
bunch of Jake. Except like World War II when they were actually separated. But
they were killing them. I'm talking about when you just see them just walking.
Like now you see like 2 Jake and then like 12 Edomites, or Moabites or whatever. Moabites they got in there.
Moab feeling like Esau these days.
Oh yeah,
he's proud.
This is more about at my job that he's a proud American.
Yeah,
proud American.
He said he
loved the national.
They down with Trump and everything.
Yeah, he voted for Trump.
Big time.
He put down a dog.
He gives them the money so they can run their businesses. I mean, I work for Moab. Yeah, in the back it's all Ishkar, but in the front it's Moab. They take care of their own. They sell to their own. But doing all the hard work in the back is Ishkar, and doing the deliveries and dealing with all the other whatever.
Hey, we went live on Facebook on Wednesday. We was out in Doraville. Everything was Moab. They bought an entire mall complex.
That's never gonna be burned down.
Ever.
Esau was not over there. And, no, it was one. He was the cop, and he wasn't bothering nobody.
Because he's mandated to leave them alone.
He was texting in his phone, right?
Exactly.
You ain't never see him look. He wasn't looking. He wasn't
sit
checking.
Up there and do nothing. But when you come down to Jake,
they're
what you doing?
Yep.
Yeah. Where you walking to, boy? With your book bag on. What's in that book bag? Books. I'm going to school.
All right. Go ahead and continue. So with the Jesuits working with the government, this allowed them to push treaties among the natives who wouldn't catch their doctrine, which would place them into reservations that have only grown smaller and smaller over the past few centuries. The result of following and also not following Catholicism was the placement of Native Americans into reservations, which are destroyed land, which is basically destroyed land, because they're not going to put us on reservations with the good land where we can take care of ourselves. They're going to destroy it first and then put us there. Also, the conversion of indigenous populations becoming lost ethnically in the United States outside of the reservations becoming so-called Americans. The physical and mental abuse of the children whom attended the boarding schools took a toll on many different tribes of indigenous Americans throughout the entirety of the Americas. And so with that, I also want to say, speaking about the so-called Jesuits or the School of Jesus, the schools that they created to basically destroy God, they're still here today, and they're gigantic, famous universities. You got Georgetown University, which was a Jesuit mission founded in 1789. They also have feminist schools that they created. One of them is Ursuline Academy, which is in New Orleans, was a mission founded in 1727. So those schools, they once they were created, they've been funded and they have not been removed or destroyed ever since. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it today, now they obviously they'll have a diverse population in schools, but they obviously continue to destroy Israel.
Right.
So dealing with this, a couple books that you can look into is a book called "Kill the Native and Save the Man" by a man named Ward Churchill. It's "Kill the Native, Save the Man." Another book is called "Taking Assimilation to Heart: Marriages of White Women and Indigenous Men in the United States and Australia."
That's Eve burning for not Eve. That's Esau burning for Jake, man. She got to have that, that power. She can't get with that from Esau. So he can't provide that power.
So dealing with this book, honestly, the first 5 pages, you'll see, it'll show you what they did to destroy us. They basically, with some of these schools, what they would do was they would put in the female teachers, and they would make sure they're dressed a certain way. So Jake would be like, "Oh, look at that. Let me go get that." And they would promote that. They say it's a good thing. So they also say that because there's a few accounts of them actually getting married, but they also say on the record that, there's also we can also see that they go around the back of the schools with these teachers and these other students, but they haven't gotten married. So there's a possibility that it's happening even more. But we promote this, and so you read this book and it'll show you a multitude of different accounts at different schools that you can find the name. Like I said, they're still around today. But that book, the first half is dealing with the indigenous men in North America, but also it talks about Australia as well in the second half of the book.
Man, Australia got completely destroyed. The Aborigine was in chains.
In a zoo. And they put them in zoos.
Fetters of iron. The Tasmanian tiger, it extinct. That was a marsupial, one of a kind animal. You go on Google right now, there's only one picture of that animal. Because they wasn't photographing that animal, it was in the wilderness. They had one in captivity. They made that thing extinct when they arrived there, the British. Right? But then when you go to Australia, they are racist over there. They hate Jacob over there, man.
Speaking about Australia, because Australia was founded, when it was founded, they populated it with their outcasts and their criminals. So Esau don't hold back in Australia. Like then they're crazy as hell too.
That's who went there. Down. That's who the British sent there. It was all their criminals and convicts.
And some of the people that they had in the psychic wards, they didn't have enough room. They just sent them to Australia.
Yeah. That's a British territory.
Another book is backing up the information that I brought out. Is called "The Records of the English Province of the Society of Jesus" by Henry Foley. Records of the English Province of the Society of Jesus. And then another book is it's called "The Works" by Christopher Darcy, PhD. Works by Christopher Darcy, PhD. And with that,
can I show y'all a picture of one of the last Tasmanian men? Full-blooded Tasmanian. Esau got rid of these people.
They got some Aborigines left, but them people are in a destitute.
Like nothing. And they decided to make folly out of these people and give you that Tasmanian devil cartoon. Look, they based it on this man right here. Look at this picture. You see this picture? They based that character on this man right there.
Yeah, Looney Tunes is racist, man. If you ever watch, there's one episode where Bugs Bunny pretends to be a Union soldier, and then he pretends to be a slave, and the white man comes, he's like, "Oh, don't beat me, master. Don't beat me, master. Oh, master, don't beat me." You can see that on YouTube, man. That went over our heads as kids. Bugs Bunny was a damn sodomite. He was a damn cross-dresser.
Pink Panther, I think. One of them was a damn fatty, damn sodomite.
You know? The one with real talent was Daffy. He was black.
Snagglepuss was a fact.
But they always made him like a dancer, and he had the shuck and jive.
And he always had the shuck and jive, and he was always playing second fiddle. You know, the black one. We're getting into the psychology of Looney Tunes. But Esau is deep. The Bible tells you that all his ways are deep. You understand?
Because he's trying to get the children from young.
Destroy them at a young age. So
show them that image.
So yeah, I have a small collection of photos. I'm going to show you of the schools. So,
yeah. So, show the camera. Show the camera.
Show the camera.
No, show the camera.
I was going to show them first.
It can't see that. It can't see that. The privacy filter.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. The privacy filter won't allow it. You got to take that off.
There you go. There you go. That's
can't
it.
see it because we looking.
You can't really see that.
Wait, hold on. Watch, it's going to clear up. Found the angle.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So it's going to be kind of like that.
That's rough, though. You know, if you could take that privacy filter off or something.
I don't have. Oh yeah, wait. So.
Or show it that way.
I gotta turn that all the way.
So that they can just see the children.
This will work. Wait. It's only when it's sideways.
Yeah. You see the children in the schools in their bunks being taught to pray. You understand? And then there's the missionary woman. You know, right there. Exactly.
She's making sure they do it, because if they don't do it right, she's gonna beat the living mess out of them.
Damn.
You know, I seen that when we went to the Native American Museum in DC. The hundreds of children that was taken from their Native American parents and put in the boarding schools to be raised as like white children, to become civilized, right? And their parents was either put to death or carried off. You know, can't really see that. Can't really see that.
Let me lower this a little bit.
But what we could do, Art, is
you can see that one.
You go bring it out at camp, and we could superimpose it into one of the videos in camp. You know?
We got some of these issues. You should be able to at least see some of this. Like you have the children, the girls in the dresses. See that guy in the white right here? That's one of the missionaries or the fathers or whatever they call it. And right here, they have a picture of one of the saints that they use to make them pray to. See what else we got. There's another one.
Hey, Mary and Sarah are elect lady. You have revoked your right to speak in our forum.
Here's another one. Collection of the students.
I said the YouTube is freezing.
No, it's not.
No.
YouTube is good.
And then here's one of the statues that they have. Basically, they have the priest with one of the little boys that they took. It's still there today. Here's another school. This is actually a YMCA. Let me turn this down a little bit. Probably see it. That's actually a YMCA. One of the schools that they use. There's a classroom with the students and the nun teaching them. Here's a nun with some of the female students. They pretty much would have some of the female students to basically like be some of the leaders in some of the classrooms. So they would be like the nuns' puppies, pretty much.
Yeah, switch. All right, close it out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it on Catholicism. Like I said, Catholicism throughout all of the Americas, you can go all day on that.
All right, that brother right there brought forth a lot of good information. All right, you don't take it personal when people scoff him. All right, that's what we're raising up over here, man. You can't get sensitive. You gotta have thick skin, right? People have spit at us, thrown bottles at us, pulled weapons on us. We don't trip. You know, this is part of the job. The Bible says you must make yourself a living sacrifice. You understand? Romans 12. So that's what we're doing. We out here working hard for this kingdom. All right. So y'all reserve y'all speech when it comes to that brother. You know, he's very diligent doing the work right there. And he brought y'all a lot of information. The scoffers wasn't able to receive it. But y'all that are sincere, y'all was able to get it. You taking over? Y'all carry on.
Shalom, shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Y'all still up? Y'all still awake?
Shalom.
All right, the car's still awake. All right, the sisters on there too.
Got Eva. Got the daughters of Zion on it. That ain't Eve if she's studying and staying in order. That ain't Eve.
Sorry.
Got like dead air. You gotta say something. Read.
All right, so we're gonna go into the Jehovah Witness.
Bring it out.
A little research that was done on a Jehovah Witness. The Jehovah Witness was founded in 1879 by Charles Taze Russell. Salakia, by Charles Taze Russell in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was influenced by the Adventist movement in the 1830s.
Right.
And the prediction of William Miller, who was the founder. Miller claimed Christ returned in 1834/44, and when his prediction failed, the movement was dispersed. Russell later went on to teach that there was no hellfire and God was not a Trinity. In addition, he taught that Christ returned invisible in 1874 and concluded from his research on the measurements of the Great Pyramid of Giza and biblical studies that Christ would set up his kingdom in 1914.
Yep, that's right.
He formed the Watchtower Tract Society of Pennsylvania in 1884, making himself president, and later moved his headquarters to Brooklyn. In 1910, he formed the International Bible Students Association. When his prediction failed in 1914, some of his following dispersed. He was later succeeded by Judge Joseph Franklin Rutherford in 1917. It was Rutherford who changed the name to Jehovah Witness in 1931, emphasizing the belief that Jehovah/Yahweh is the true God and that the witness were his special followers. The Jehovah Witness were called the Watchtower Society after Russell's published magazine called Zion's Watchtower and Herald of Christ Presents.
The Jehovah Witness were trying to come more with the scriptures than what was going on at that time. But they weren't coming with thus saith the Lord completely. They were still going on. Because the white man can't walk straight.
The Jehovah Witness does not prescribe to the Trinity, referring to the fact that the Bible never referring the fact that the Bible never mentions the Trinity, claiming the doctrine developed gradually over several centuries and controversies.
That's right.
Even Esau knows that most of the stuff that they bring up about this Trinity is fables.
It's fake.
It's all fake. All his religions are fake. Religion is all of this is nonsense. It's all made up. Every one of these religions that we're bringing up, somebody made it up. I'm telling you who made it up. That's why you get out of her. Get out of these philosophies. It's all made up. They're not coming out of. They're not coming out of the word. They're not coming out of the scripture.
They don't believe Jesus is equal with God, but created by and non-coexist with him. Their basis is on John 14 and 28.
So though they come with some correct scriptures to base what they're saying, they have women teaching
all the time.
All the time. It's a woman that comes harass you at your door, and a man stands behind hiding somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know what can happen to his woman. Like somebody could just snuff her in the face and drag her in. You're too blocked down hiding because you're not man enough to come up and say nothing. Like the men of the Lord sit on the corner diligently and speak. Read.
In comparison, they believe the Holy Spirit is not equal with God, but a force applied by him based on Exodus 15 and 8 and 10 and Luke 11 and 13. The Jehovah Witness also rejects blood transfusion, claiming to abstain from blood, do not participate in voting, not serve in the military. They reject the symbol of the cross.
That's right.
And do not celebrate the traditional Christian holidays or birthdays. Some observe the 14th of Nisan annual taking bread and wine.
That's their fake Passover. It's called the memorial. That's what they call it.
Read on.
Read on.
They relied on the King James Version until the New World Translation was released by and for the Jehovah Witness.
So they came up with their own Bible.
Give me Isaiah 43 and 10. Let's see who the real Jehovah Witnesses are. Let's see who the real Yahweh Witnesses are. Number one. Can I get in there? You know, I had to serve in this religion, man. My mother ain't play no games. I had to knock on people's doors with a shiny suit. All right? They think they know something because they read the scriptures, but they have their own translation. And when you put their Bible next, and it just told you they used to read the King James. I'm old. I remember when they used to read the King James. We had one dude, he would go up there and he would read the King James and their book. And he ain't like their book. So he would always go to the King James to be like, well, look, this is what the other Bible said. He would do that all the time until they made him stop doing that. He had to read their book. They translation is all jacked up. This the real witnesses of the Most High. Isaiah 43:10.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me.
And who is he talking to? Ye are my witnesses. Read Isaiah 43 and 1. Read the first verse.
Isaiah 43 and 1. But now, thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob.
Who?
O Jacob.
Come on.
And he that formed thee, O Israel.
Who?
O Israel.
Come on.
Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine.
This whole chapter is about Israel.
That's
so
right.
The real witnesses of the Most High are the Israelites. Read verse 10 now with that understanding.
Verse 10. Ye are my witnesses.
Say it again.
Ye are my witnesses.
Read.
Saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen.
You could go into Isaiah 44, 45. It'll tell you that Jacob is my chosen. He's my servant. He's my elect.
That's right.
So Jehovah Witnesses got it wrong, man, because they don't teach about Israel. So that's them stealing the glory of God's chosen people and giving it away to all these other nations, man, who hate God's chosen people, man. What Jehovah Witness magazine you ever seen talk about crime of killing our people by these police? They got a magazine for everything. I didn't see one for Mike Brown. I didn't see one for Eric Garner. They don't never have no magazine about the oppression of black people in this country. I never seen them have one about civil rights. They'll show you Martin Luther King's pictures. Their illustrators are talented. They'll draw Martin Luther King and talk about equality, but they will never show you these white cops beating us to the bloody white meat and talk about the wickedness of these devils here in America. They will never do that. But if you blow up one of their Kingdom Halls in Russia, they got 3 mess services about the oppression of the Russian Jehovah Witnesses. Look, they don't want to let us knock on their doors. They want to talk about that. Meanwhile, their headquarters is in Brooklyn, and we're the ones suffering here. That's a hypocritical religion, man. And it's nonsense. And they got their own Bible translation, and it's missing a whole gang of verses, man. All right? Come out of that religion. Salaki, go ahead, brother.
I was pretty much in on that.
Had to get on there. They got a zeal. And most people in Jehovah's Witness religion is the black woman. I'm telling you now.
And Ishkar too. Ishkar is real heavy to it.
Issachar.
Ishkar.
Y'all carry on.
Kind of just to continue to prove what the other one was saying about Israel being the chosen is Isaiah 44 and 1. And I'm gonna bring that out. Ye now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. See, and you continue to see that the Most High is only choosing us. So if he hasn't chosen anyone else, how are other nations gonna get to the kingdom? How does it work? If he has chosen Israel and Jacob, how does anyone else get in? It makes no sense.
What's strange about the Jehovah's Witness? They believe in the 144. I don't ever remember them saying anything about the multitude.
No, they got drawings of it. It's all races. They holding palm leaves. But they got Jake in the back.
In the very back, like
in the
TJ.
very back.
Yeah.
My mother got a Jehovah's Witness Bible. And in the front of the Bible is a white father and his son looking at the stars. On the second page is a white family reading the book. On the third page is Moab woman with her son. And on the fourth page is Jake. So you the last people that get it. And they mixed us with a bunch of other people. It wasn't just like a singular Jake family. These are the illustrations they put in the book, man. They will never draw none of the patriarchs as black people, period. I'm talking about they draw Jesus so white, yo. He looked like he worked in corporate America, how they draw him. He's like a super white dude. You know, they don't give him the full beard. They only give him the goatee, right? And man, let me tell you, man, them illustrations is miraculous, but it's white people. I asked one of the elders, I said, hey, ain't no black people in this book nowhere. When I was 11 years old, I asked him that. And my mother got mad that I asked him that. But, you know, we had to go knock on doors and they pick you and you got to go with a certain brother.
So, like, can you see the problem with that?
What, that my mother is the one pushing
Why is she getting upset?
Because she don't embarrass me. You understand? Her thing is she wanted me to teach and be like an elder with them. You understand?
Yeah, they don't want you to speak the truth. Like my mother, she gets mad when I start to bring up the Bible, start to bring up like things that are happening to our people. Because our gates language. They don't want you to talk about nothing. Don't talk about your oppression.
They want that smooth word.
Smooth words, yeah. But if something happens to the white man, we could talk about that all day long. Oh, my mom would say, oh, did you hear what happened? Some cops got shot.
Sound like my
I don't care. Why are you even telling me that? Why don't you tell me about the young black man who got killed in his car with his wife?
Or the brother that's getting walked down the damn street on a rope by two cops on horseback.
Or the sister that gets raped in jail and the cop gets away with it.
Yup.
Vacation.
Or the Edomite. Say what?
The pregnant sister who got shot down.
Yeah, she was pregnant. Or the Edomite who was in college and raped the girl behind a dumpster and they let him off saying we don't want to ruin his life.
We don't want to ruin his college experience. That's what the judge said. We don't want this to ruin his college experience.
I'll take you back to 2015. What about the Edomites that stuck a hanger in the rectum of the black boy that was mentally disabled? He was the water boy on the football team.
Wow.
They took him in the locker room and stuck a hanger up his rectum, and none of them went to jail. This is in Idaho. They said, look, they're too young. Yeah, it's all right. They was punching the boy in his face. They brought boxing gloves and made him put on the gloves and made him fight them so that they could punch. You know, he's got special needs, right?
Wow.
You know how hard they was hitting them. You know, they was doing them dirty, man. Right?
But you have 14-year-old Jake in real prison with grown-ass men serving life
Hey,
sentences.
yo, kick him out right there. Esau is at the bottom. Hey, look, hold on. Can we say something real quick?
All right.
Let's say something. Let's say something real quick. Yo, Esau, it's over for you.
That's
right.
Mhm.
That's right.
You cannot get away. We know you got agents. We know you're listening to our conversations. We assume that you have planted moles. We assume that you bugged our houses and phones.
That's right.
That doesn't change the Most High's judgment.
That's right.
And the Most High said he's not going to suffer a hair on our heads to be harmed. And you are going to be gathered together to be burned, man. That's your final judgment. You're not going to get away.
It's
like it, man. I'm going to have to walk off, man.
There will be no more remaining of Esau.
No,
That's right.
Right. They scoffing hard tonight, man.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Huh?
This is the last one.
Oh yeah, they was spraying blood on themselves.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. That was actually funny. So them cops were pretending that they were getting shot, right? So these one cops, they run into the car.
Do they have like the?
And they had the bags of blood.
Like the
and
little,
one
like the
cop was
movie
like,
effect?
hey,
Oh.
so he sprays it on himself, and then they hop in the car like, you know. Esau's an idiot.
Yeah. Hey, but you Jehovah's Witnesses can't get away. So I asked this dude, I said, ain't no black people. Why they gotta draw everybody white? He lied to me, man. He told me that in Africa, we draw everybody black, right? That's only for America. Like that was good.
Yeah.
Hey, that'll have a young Jake like, okay.
And look, but I paid attention to their lessons, and the brother told you that their headquarters is in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
that's where they print all of their media. Mm-hmm. They print all the same media. All they do is change the language, man. So he lied to me, and when I caught him in a lie, he said, "Damn, you quick, can't get nothing by you." I said, "Well, damn, what you lied to me for?"
Wow.
And then my mother came and grabbed me up like, "Stop! Why you actually
embarrassing again? How is that embarrassing? How is seeking the truth embarrassing?
I'm just saying, why everybody got to be white? Why only the black man and the black woman in America, the Hispanic man, the Native American, we worship somebody that don't look like us. The white man he don't do this. He had to draw Christ as a corporate white boy for him to worship him. You understand?
There's one place they do worship a Negro.
Sports.
No. In the Vatican.
The Black
Madonna.
I heard in Russia.
Yeah, the Russian icon. They know. It's not like Esau don't know. He had your records while you was getting your back kicked in.
After he expelled you from the land.
I had a precept I wanted to bring out earlier.
Bring it out.
All right, this is Psalms chapter 36 and verse 1. The transgression of the wicked, saying within my heart that there is no fear of God before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. For he hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed, and he setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth it not evil. So that was down to 4. 36, 1 through 4.
So we're going to 7th day now? 7th-day Adventist?
Yeah, we're going to read this last one. My mother was a 7th-day Adventist. Only good thing that came out of that is it got me circumcised. Other than that, it's nonsense. Go ahead.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church had its roots in the Millerite movement of the 1830s to the 1840s during the period of the Second Great Awakening and was officially founded in 1863. Prominent figures in the early church included Henry Edson, James Springer, Joseph Bates, and John N. Anderson.
Are any of your people listed in those names?
Never.
We're following people that have nothing to do with us. All of these cults that we brought out today, they're all created by people that have nothing to do with us. Why are you following us? The white man's not going to follow you unless you playing basketball. And then he's only going to follow you for a little bit, for about 8 years, and then he's going to
Next,
take a crap
Find a
on
new
you.
one.
find a new one.
Find a new one.
That's all they do.
You'll be Carmelo Anthony real quick.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony can't play basketball.
Real quick.
Colin Kaepernick can't play football.
Get a job.
What?
He's asking me to repeat the name.
I repeat
They
it.
out.
The names are Hemron Edson, James Springer White, Joseph Bates, J.N. Anderson. Over the ensuing decades, the church expanded from its original base in New England to become an international organization. Significant developments such the reviews initiated by evangelists Donald Barnhouse and Walter Martin in the 20th century led to its recognition as the Christian denomination. That's pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
Time. The Second Great Awakening, a revival movement in the United States, took place in the early 19th century.
You gotta think about why these cults were created here, because they're following you. It was created just for you, just to keep you in the fog, just to keep you dismayed while they know the truth, just to keep you a slave. They weren't created for any other reason. It's not gonna give you anything. It's all vanity. There's no knowledge in this. Read.
The Second Great Awakening was stimulated by the foundation of the many Bible societies, which sought to
The what?
The many Bible societies.
Why they have so many Bible societies? It's
Right.
one Bible. Why don't you just read the Bible?
Right.
What do I need all these Bible societies for? Read.
Which sought to address the problem of a lack of affordable Bibles. The spread of Bibles allowed many whom had not had one to be able to purchase and study it themselves, rather than just hear it preached, and led to the establishment of many reform movements designed to remedy the evil of the society before the anticipated second coming of Jesus Christ. Many religions, minority movements formed out of the Congregational, Presbyterian, and the Baptist and the Methodist churches. Some of these movements had beliefs that would later be adopted by the Seventh-day Adventists. An interest in prophecy was kindled.
I think Joel.
Joel got it? Sean's dad?
Yeah, Sean's dad.
Yo, just keep teaching. You don't stop, They'll deal with it.
An interest in prophecy was kindled among some Protestants. In some Protestant groups following the arrest of Pope Pius VI in 1798. I don't think that's what we want. Let's go into something else. Who that?
Why Yasser Israel for the
For the donation. The water.
For the
That's
super
pretty
chat.
much it on that out of the way. Let's go into something else.
Okay. So we brought all of these cults to show you guys the creation of the things that they're using, these avenues that they're using to deceive you. Esau is a deceiver, and everything he gives you is for pure deception. So you shouldn't be following it. So we brought you these things so you could see the history behind them. There are many others, but we wanted to bring you the ones that were brought up through your slavery here in the Americas. So we're going to open the floor to any questions from the call. You have what? You want to do the Mormon? All right, hold
I don't
on.
want to do it. I just want to bring a couple of things out.
All right, we're going to do a couple of things on the Mormon. Aren't the Mormons the ones that...
They're the ones with the Gadite tablet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring
The
out.
history of the
They had
Gadites.
They had the Gadite tablet.
Oh,
It was just, I just wanted to bring out that the Mormons are one of these fake religions also. Fake cults also.
They practice rituals.
All right, so they're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the most prominent branch of Mormonism. For the people known as Mormons, They're basically called Latter-day Saints. So Joseph Smith, it was started by Joseph Smith in 1820s and 30s.
Sloppy. Don't they teach that he sits on the right side of your house?
They teach that?
I don't know about that.
It's Joseph Smith, Yahweh, well, Jesus, and God.
Wow.
So he's the Holy Spirit?
I don't know.
The word Mormon originally derived from the Book of Mormon, a religious text published by Smith. So he made the book and named the cult after it, which he said he translated from the golden plates. He said with divine assistance. These golden plates were records, early indigenous American records found by him and translated and used to create his cult. All right, so based on the name, Smith's earliest followers were widely known as Mormons. Right, so Smith was killed in 1844, and Brigham Young had brought the cult out to the territories of Utah and over on that side. I'm pretty sure most of us are pretty much slightly familiar of Mormonism and
Somebody give me Isaiah 34:16.
they are highly active in polygamy, and they used to focus heavily on their doctrine. They follow Trinitarianism, so they believe in the Trinity. And it's just a man-made religion. I don't know if I want to get something else. It's folly.
Go ahead, read it.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Seek ye out of the book of Joseph Smith?
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
And then read Joseph Smith.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Wait, what? Where's Joseph Smith in that?
He's not in here.
All right, keep reading. It's going to say something about you.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. What does that mean?
There's no other book that you need to be looking at.
That's right.
What
Book of the Lord.
What about the book of Joseph Smith?
The book of the Lord. There's no mate.
There is no mate. There is nothing with the scriptures. Joseph Smith just made a book for no reason. Well, I guess he made some money off it. Some Negroes follow him for some strange reason. Y'all love to follow Massa, but that book is trash. That book is trash. The pamphlets from the Watchtower is trash. Hey, what was that brother's name? Rico Suave? The Ephraimite brother from Kent the other day?
Oh, with his books. With his little two little
what was he handing us? Whatever those pamphlets were, Cisco had some books and pamphlets. That's all trash. If you got to read something that's telling you read certain scriptures in the Bible, go get the Bible and read the Bible.
Yo, the brother said Mormon is a plausible name. Mockery. Reproach.
Sister Jocelyn, she brought up a book y'all might want to read. Rules of the Society of Negroes in 1693. Well, no mate. Yeah, come on. Bro, we can hear you on the live.
Yeah.
So, any questions from the brothers and sisters on the live?
On the call. Y'all still on, right?
You mute the call?
Nah.
All right, so then how you do it? Now we're gonna open the floor for questions. The first questions should be the ones that pertain to this lesson. Y'all now have the floor.
The magic of Revelations 22:15.
Thou whores, and,
The second one.
witches.
No questions?
If there's no questions, turn it over to the people on the live.
Go ahead, sister.
Kick Golden Rich out.
Christianity founded by?
This one?
Can you hear me?
She asked you a question, brother. You gotta concentrate this. I'm gonna do it.
All right. Go ahead, sister. All right, the original Christians were people who followed Christ. That's who the original Christians are. They're Israelites. But what you have today is a watered down cult. And that goes into a lot of the cults that we brought forth to you.
Y'all hold it down some now. The class ain't over. Sister, does that answer your question? So the brother is saying that to be a true Christian, you have to follow Christ. And we know that those are the Israelites. Yo, you over there. All right? All right, anybody else on the call with a question?
Brother said Salaki. The brother said Salaki. Go ahead.
Can't hear him. Yo, y'all gotta hold it down. Go ahead. You're very low, man. All right, we're gonna take it. Just go ahead. We'll repeat your question.
All right, so this question ain't necessarily pertaining to the lesson. I just want to know the flow of the question.
All right.
All right, so yeah, this is.
Hold on.
This is what?
Also pertaining to the process.
Uh-huh.
Who's this? Who is this? Oh, Dion, who's your captain? Who's over Chris? You don't know Naquan? Damn, brother, it sounds like you talking from 10 miles away.
Hold on. You don't know that Naquam is over Chris?
No.
You understand that Naquam is a captain and Chris is. You understand that Naquam is a captain and Chris is a soldier?
All right, we'll deal with that.
All right, so them brothers are gonna get back with you, and they're gonna have to give you an order of the camp. You got to know who Naquam is if you're trying to be a sons of.
You guys aren't doing weekly calls? Y'all not talking? What about Naquam?
Y'all got to do it like a weekly group call.
All right, well, we'll deal with it. Now, the brother asked about the tribe of Dan, but hold on. That ain't got nothing to do with this lesson. Just hold on. We'll talk about that. But we just want to take all the questions that pertain to this lesson first. Does anybody have a question about what was taught tonight? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to thank y'all brothers for bringing this out about the Jehovah's Witness. Like I grew up with Jehovah's Witness, and it was just amazing to like find out all that information. Like wow, like the Bible.
Hey, use another phone. My phone is too low. My speaker's low. Yeah, man, that religion is that religion targets minority people. It targets inner city people. That's where they get majority of their following from, and they raise a lot of money. They have conventions in Yankee Stadium, Nassau Coliseum. That's big bucks, man. So that means the people are paying to support this thing, you know. So you know, our people are wrapped up in that thing, but there's no representation of our people in that religion. Everybody's white, and I mean historically inaccurate white. And I'm waiting for our people to buck up against that, man, not just sit back and accept that. Okay.
Brother Joel, I got a question.
All right.
Do you feel like you was happy you was brought up in the
Please announce your
Yeah.
So like the best thing because they didn't do the Trinity. They talked about the 144,000 because still the church is going on. It just seemed like I kind of learned so much. I kind of learned a little bit to where I'm just happy I went in the church. Even though I found out it was wrong, but I don't know. It just seemed like
I'll say this. They do read the Bible, but they got their own Bible version and they don't have the right interpretation. So it's backwards. They don't put no emphasis on Israel and they don't teach to keep God's laws. They teach the laws done away with. They don't keep no feast days. And they don't deal with any issue that pertains to our people, man. That's an elitist, homogenized, very Caucasian religion.
All religions are Caucasian.
I agree. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm kind of happy I got involved a little bit. I'm so happy I got birthdays out of my system, holidays. Because it's probably hard for Jake to come into this truth when they, like, it's hard for Jake to get Christmas out their system. So that's the only thing I just want to think about. To be honest, that's it.
GMS lookup. Why you put that precept in the comments? GMS lookup. I want to know why you put that precept. Anybody else on the call got a question? Go ahead.
So this is a general question. Would you say one should be cautious if dealing with a camp that has a 501(c)(3)?
Yo, watch this. I don't care if you like it, understand it, believe it or not. A 501(c)(3) protects you from tax auditing. When you are an organized group and you take money, like if all y'all brothers right now gave me money and I reached a certain threshold, the IRS is going to not come to the group. They're going to come to me, right? Say y'all gave it to me, right? A 501(c) makes it so that your donations are not taxed. That's the purpose of it. The concept that you are in league with the government and you have to teach what they say comes from this idea. Nobody's going to approve you for a 501(c) if you say, we are Hebrew Israelites and the white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. You're not going to get approved. There's nobody, no notary public is going to sign that. You not getting that approved, right? So what brothers did was they went into it like a private entity, like a business under a cloak, when really what they're doing is making sure that their donations don't end up getting taxed, right? Somebody got to pay for that. Esau want his money. Y'all's trying to build a school, right? We trying to get a school, right? And we have a fund, right? Esau want to know where that bread comes from. How much they gave you? How much is your fund? Well, this is my percentage of that fund. Without the 501(c), Esau tax your donations as income. He taxes it as income. So it's bad form to say that brothers who have the 501(c) is teaching Edomite doctrine. IUIC got a 501(c), right? I know them brothers. They teach that the white man is the devil. They teach that you got to keep God's laws, right? Okay, you got oughts with them, issues with them, things that you don't agree with and you wish they wouldn't do or say. All camps got that. right? Some got different ones than others. But them brothers got a 501(c), right? Do they teach Israel that we Israelites and only Israel's getting the kingdom? So what part of their doctrine is government sponsored? You see? So it's bad form. Let's stop doing that. It's so many ways we could criticize each other, but it's more ways that we could build each other up and be brothers. So you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that energy from our side. You're not gonna, oh, the brothers got a 501(c). They down with the government. That's stupid, because that's not true. That's not what a 501(c) is for. Now you have churches that have the 501(c). Creflo Dollar definitely got that. He makes millions. He ain't paying no taxes on that. They bought him an airplane. If you make $1 million income, you have to pay Esau his taxes on this. So you might bring home 640 out of the million after he's done. You think you think Joel Osteen is paying that? That's why they have 501(c). So just because they teach false doctrine, Israel, we supposed to be industrial. We supposed to, Paul said, use the world, but don't be abusers of the world, right? If Esau got tax breaks built into his system that he's forcing us to pay tribute to, why would we not take advantage of his own system? It's something to think about, Israel, before we go and talk negative about brothers who get the 501(c), because the ones who have it have huge organizations, things that we aspire to have, right? So there's no reason to be overly critical until you've done the research to understand what that is. Brother Jonathan, our soldier out in DC, he actually did the background research. You could get a 504 or a 501(c). If you get the 504, that's more, you got to be a certain type of not-for-profit business, right? But the 501 is for like ministries, nonprofits that are on those lines. And he had to explain all to me. I didn't understand that. I'm thinking you would get a 501(c). You in the back shaking hands with Esau. Y'all taking vows under the moonlight. That's what I'm thinking. Until the brother went and did the research and came back. That's why the Bible says, be not ignorant of any matter, large or small. Let's stop. You know, how do we feel about brothers calling the shield of David the star of Moloch? We be like, come on, brother. You ain't studied that, right? Well, then we got to be like that about all things. You understand? So that's it on that. That's as far as we're going to talk about.
Y'all know the brother Comfy? The Comfy have a 501(c)?
He did not.
Where's he at?
He about to go to jail for money laundering. Because what he tried to do was, and I don't want to talk about that, brother, because he's still an Israelite. But what he was doing was he tried to take the money he made from Israel and run it through a record label. And Esau is like, nah, nigga, no, you can't do that. You understand? So what we have to do is we have to use the world, but not be abusers of the world. So use wisdom, man. You know, we need brothers that's lawyers. We need brothers that's accountants, because we want this thing to go global. Why? Not for our own benefit, but so the scripture could be fulfilled that says when this word is taught in all places, then the end will come. So you want Israel to expand and be major. That's why we don't hate on no other camps. We don't care what they say about us. What's this guy GMS lookup talking nonsense in our comments? Is that going to make us go and hate GMS as a camp because of him? No. You know what I'm saying? We love our brothers. I don't care what they say about us, right? That's called turning the other cheek. That's the definition of turning the other cheek. Yeah, they take little shots at us, but so what? We still gonna love them brothers, man, and hope that the Most High do major things for them, because they teaching Israel the doctrine. So it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to a next question. Then we're gonna deal with the online at the end. Y'all, if you online, your questions get answered last. If you on the call, we dealing with you first.
Barbie.
Go ahead.
What's your stance on reading books like Audible or Sovereign or Before They Lost Power? Is it unlawful to indulge?
Is it unlawful to read a book?
48 laws of power.
It's not unlawful to read a book. You can read books. I read books. It's not wrong with reading books. It's good for black men to read books. But the book you need,
he's got to listen.
You there, Art?
Say that again.
It's nothing wrong with reading books.
I ain't say. I ain't
Reading books is not. Are you?
unlawful to implement like principles.
All right. I'm trying to answer your question. That's all I'm doing. Okay. You asked me a sincere question. I'm going to answer you sincerely. There is nothing wrong with reading books. You can get some information from books. So when I brought up the precept, none shall want her mate, there's nothing goes with this right here. Like, you want to learn math? Get a math book. You want to learn how to cook? Get a cooking book. So there's certain things you can learn from other books.
Precept.
But this has no mate. That's what that scripture means. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 21 and 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against Yahweh.
Go ahead.
So if the book you're reading is against the Most High, ain't no wisdom in that book. If that book is telling you to do what it wants you to do, the whole book is wrong. Right? Proverbs 21 and 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord. All right, brother? All right. If anything you read, you can read. I want to learn about science. I read science textbooks and magazines and articles. But if anything is speaking against the Most High, it's no wisdom in that literature. You know. Anybody else on the call?
Yeah, Balak. Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know Brother Gad, he was talking about Catholic schools earlier. You know, my son, he's going to a private Catholic school right now. You know, me and my wife was kind of debating about it. And, you know, I'm just trying to hear what your stance is on that, about taking your son to a private Catholic school.
That's a real good question. You know what I'm saying? I went to Catholic school. You went to Catholic school? No, I went to Catholic school because of the district I live in. My parents didn't want me to go to the public schools out there. They just felt like I wasn't going to get a quality education. And thus is the case in many inner city. I'm from Jersey City. That's the hood. And our schools was filthy. People's getting robbed. Old books. The teachers wasn't coming. So my parents was like, damn, we got to pay this extra bread for you to learn something so that you could make something of yourself and not become a bumite like the niggas that is on our Ave or on the corners of our block, right? So, yeah, Catholic school gonna have them brothers, they call brothers, walking around in their long robes. Nobody calls them Power Rangers, though. You know what I'm saying? Hypocrites. These niggas is gay, and they don't criticize them. You know, you got to go to mass. They're going to make you do every damn Catholic tradition, but you don't have to participate. You just got to go because all the students got to go together. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to participate. So that's the sacrifice you make for a proper education. That's a parent's job. I can't tell a parent not to give their child the best chance to succeed.
So I think what you're trying to say is there's a chance that your child might get indoctrinated because he's going to a Catholic school. Any school that you send your child to, there's a chance that they get indoctrinated. Like public schools right now have what are they called?
Library readings.
They have library readings by men like dressed in drag. That's a form of indoctrination, right? So they're not learning like no false scriptures or a false way of understanding, but they're learning false understanding that it's okay to have this sodomite come read to your kids and have your kids sit on his lap while he has a dress on and some makeup. When your kid goes to science class, they learn about the Big Bang or evolution. or they learn history in all its falsehood. So there's indoctrination in all types of school, any school you go to. Even when you pay to go to college, they lie to you too.
Yeah. Tawada Wisdom Hunter, thank you for your donation.
Look at this. This is indoctrination.
No Edomites in that picture. Edomite children.
See that? LGBT history to be taught in Illinois public schools.
That's public school. That's not a Catholic school. So, I mean, unless you're going to homeschool and know exactly what's going on, any school that you take them to is some kind of indoctrination.
Khan. Any other questions? Any other questions? Go ahead.
This is Brother Judah. I wanted to know what you guys' stance was on fasting on the Sabbath. When I first got into the truth about whether it was lawful to fast on the Sabbath, and I really haven't got a thought on that, so I would like to ask that question.
You can fast whenever you want as long as the feast day is not there. On a feast day, you're supposed to feast. But you can fast whenever you want.
Okay, so the thing that it was, the argument some people was having that was that the Sabbath was a feast day.
Not necessarily. When you read the book of Judith, it says she fasted on the eve of every Sabbath and new moon. But you can't use that precept to say that the Sabbath itself is a feast day. There are feast days that are Sabbaths, but the Sabbath itself is not a feast day necessarily. You know. The water brother Guy, the water brother Joel Gandy Jr. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Player Dizzle. GMS gives you the truth for free, but we bugged out. Can I ask you something? How long have we been teaching tonight? When did we come on?
8:30.
8:30. What time is it? 11:15. At what point did we say we're going to turn the stream off if you don't give us anything? If brothers give a free will offering, we going to turn it down? Or we going to say thank you? We've been saying thank you. We're not looking for it. If you send it, thank you. And we're going to use it to give back to the people. After Sabbath, after Sabbath camp, what do? Take the people with us. At the camp, what do we have? Provisions, shade,
water,
food, water,
drink.
We give it to them at the feast day. What do we have? Nice venue, wine on every table.
Random people walk up on the Sabbath.
Random people walk up on the Sabbath. We give them food. What is he talking about? So I'm getting mad, but that's just one dude. He might not even be GMF. You see, you gotta watch that.
Yeah, they want to cause. That's probably
Cause confusion.
What's that? What that white boy came to our camp? Brother Love.
Oh,
Brother Love.
So why the sister Didi for posting the call number? I thought you can't buy or sell on the site. You can't. Where's their buying and selling? So what he would post is buy the truth and sell it not, as if we're holding this doctrine for ransom. You know, that's just reaching, man. The main thing about that is this. Even Paul asked to help the ministry. You know, is not the teacher worthy of his pay? I'm helping y'all, right? Help me go continue to teach others. Put something down on this, right? But it's not a requirement for the truth. It's not a requirement. You don't need your donations. All these brothers work. Everybody come around this side. All these brothers work hard. The Bible says you're going to work at the sweat of your brow, man. All right? Look at all these brothers, man. Look at all these brothers. You ain't know all these brothers was here. Some sisters here too. All these brothers work hard.
And this ain't the whole camp.
And this ain't the whole camp.
It's not even half.
It's not even half.
Not even a quarter.
We don't have no bummites with us. All these brothers work hard and contribute to our movement so that we can keep it moving. We're going to Vegas on the 23rd to hold camp with Mount Zion.
Shalom.
Shalom to Mount Zion 144K. You know why? Because them brothers called us and said, we're going to get you out here. We're going to help you get out here. Right? That's brotherly love continuing. Y'all got this idea, like, first of all, instead of them having a Sabbath class and teaching a Sabbath class, or whoever that GMS dude is, but somebody's vouching for him saying, yeah, he is, whatever, still could not be. Instead of them having their Sabbath class, he's on our class for free. But he's scoffing us, man.
Oh, you learned something.
But you learned something tonight, didn't you? These brothers was bringing out good facts and good knowledge. You learned something tonight, man. Okay? So we're not paying too much attention to that hate. We just gonna keep doing our thing, man, till the Most High take us off here. Huh? Y'all brothers go back and enjoy yourself because there's food in here. There's wine in here. For them to enjoy. In my house. Did y'all brothers have to pay to come in here? Did I say you can't come here unless you bring me something? Say what? Yeah, don't listen to him. Any more the water brother Desmond Wright? Is there anybody else on the call that has a question? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go first, brother. I heard a different camp. One of the camps was talking about taking the heathen.
What he said?
Dealing with a heathen as far as a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I thought he was going off. Is that right by he was going off? Somebody at the car camp talking about taking a heathen as a woman.
You heard him say that? I never heard Sakari say that.
Yeah. No, somebody in the camp taking the car.
Deacon Hakar said, take a heathen. He told you to go take a heathen?
Somebody was questioning him about it. That's why he said he deal with heathen time to time. I knew he was going off. I just wanted to make sure he was going off.
I never heard him say
I ain't going to speak on that because I ain't hear him say that. But I'll talk to him about it. We be talking to them brothers on the Sabbath. They right up the street.
He said he married a heathen.
Yeah, no, I listened to him though. He's knowledgeable, you know what I'm saying?
Said he married a
He
heathen.
said you could take a heathen.
I ain't talking him like that.
Sounds like a bed wench.
You deal with him like on the street.
Is he dealing with him on the street?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think.
I think he's saying you take him as a bed wench.
It could have been an older video.
I'm gonna say this. If you can choose a woman chiefly of the daughter of thy people. That's what I'm gonna say. You know, anybody else? Yeah.
You can see this and you can have sex on a Saturday.
All right, the brother said IUIC. The brother said IUIC teaches we can have sex on the Sabbath day. Is that what you said? I've never seen them teach that. They teach that?
I've never heard that. I've heard a doctrine.
But I've never seen them teach that. They teach that.
It's them that taught it, but I've heard that doctrine.
We was taught by our elders. We was taught by our elders that you need to abstain from sex on the Sabbath. Based on this, when this hold it down. When the seed of copulation leaves a man, he becomes unclean, and the woman becomes unclean. You brothers that's in camps, if you deal with your wife on the Sabbath and then come to camp, everybody you dap up is now unclean because of you. So for this reason, our elders taught us, leave your woman alone for one day, brother. You got all these days, don't touch my foot. You got all these days to deal with your woman, man. On the Sabbath, can y'all just pray to the Most High and relax? And then in sundown, you could get right back to her, man. All right, she ain't going nowhere. If she love you,
one day to the Most High.
that's our position on that. All right, brother.
So a lot of people saying that they did make a video on that.
So did.
So like, yeah, it was only like a new video.
15. But did you hear what I said, brother? All right. So we're gonna leave it at that.
This man still is coughing.
All right. Anybody else on the call with a question? We'll deal with the internet questions until 12, and then we're gonna pray and shut it down. Anybody else on the call with a question? All right, y'all work it out. Who goes first?
Go ahead, brother. All right. One more question. About your last video about the practical, man. Like how you find your balance with being practical with them, you know what I'm saying? Like if you love your family, you don't want to bring them in because like Christ come back.
Let me get my sword.
Like,
Look at my Bible.
You don't want to think you're gonna want the people you love the most that you're gonna try to bring them in, you know what I'm saying? Then even with you like walking the way you walk, some of the stuff you can't get away from. You're gonna have arguments with family and all that type of stuff, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yo, when it comes to your family,
I know you got the vision. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm just waiting on my Bible. It's right over there. It's underneath the blanket. Come on, brother. And my apocrypha, please. Baba Kasha. When it comes to your family, leave them alone. Order. Hey, brother, order. Hey, brother, order. Unplug that power strip. Order, brother, order. Just listen. Priest Sabbath, our teacher, our elder. One of the main lessons he teach you, stop trying to teach your family. What does he tell you to do first?
Learn the doctrine for yourself.
Learn the doctrine for yourself. That don't mean learn a couple little precepts because you watched the video and you think you're about to now, I just watched this video. That's how you break that down. I'm about to mimic this. And now I'm going to teach. It don't work like that at all. It doesn't work like that. You have to have mastery of the subject matter. I don't care what video you watch. If you do not have mastery, if your eyes haven't went to the paper and looked at that scripture yourself, and then you went and found your own precepts to match it through diligent study, you have not mastered that concept. You just copying what somebody else taught. That means the spirit is not there. If the spirit is not there, when you speak, you have no power, right? That's what the Lord said he's going to put. I'll put my words in your mouth. Now, don't speak your words, speak my words, right? Don't think of what to say before time, because in that moment, it'll be given unto you. That's the spirit is telling you what to say, right? You coming back or eat something? The spirit is going to tell you what to say. So leave your family alone. First of all, your family don't believe you. Oh, this nigga's an Israelite now. I grew up with you. You ain't never kept a law. How you an Israelite? I ain't no Israelite. How you an Israelite?
How you just change your name like that? What do that even mean?
What do that even mean, man? Right? Turn to the book of Matthew. 13 and 57. Leave your family alone, man. You study. Enjoy yourself. Be happy when you study. Now, you know what people gonna say? People gonna say this, but I love my family. Right? So how can I be happy if the Most High gonna destroy them? No, it doesn't go like that. We're gonna read you the precepts to explain to you how to approach this. Hey, yo, GMS lookup. Because, man, he's giving them brothers a bad name. We used to be down at 5 Points. We used to listen to Yaradan teach. He spoke with wisdom. If you look at my apocrypha, these pages is marked up like a subway in Harlem because Yaradan is a precept machine. He's from GMS. We listen to him.
I sat on that corner many a day.
to hear him speak, man. But this dude, like, he don't get it. He caught up in my camp, with us, only us, me, my. You understand? That's why he's on our class that we have on the Sabbath for the people, going against the doctrine, wants to argue. He's not acknowledging none of the edification that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all practical wisdom.
He's on timeout.
You put him on timeout.
Yeah.
Brother Chris with the
All right. Leave your family alone. They don't believe you. Matthew 13.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 57.
Bring it out.
And they were offended.
Nah. Read 55. This is what they're going to say about you. Read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 55. Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Hosea and Simon and Judas?
Hey, yo, ain't this that nigga we went to school with? Ain't that dude from up off Woodlawn that used to wear the high water pants? Ain't this that dude, didn't this dude used to play sports over at so-and-so? Didn't he used to play ball at so-and-so gym? Yo, ain't this dude that used to be with so-and-so? They used to be behind the mall. Ain't this the brother used to sell weed? Hey, that's what they're going to say about y'all. Ain't this the brother that couldn't hit a jumper to save his life in PE? Ain't this the dude that got knocked out behind the dumpsters in high school? Remember him? That's how they're going to talk about y'all when you stand up and you go to push the word. You ain't who you are now to them. They want to talk about who you was then. Who they talking about right here in this verse? They're talking about Yahushua like that. Ain't this the carpenter's son? That's a disrespectful thing.
The carpenter's son, though.
That was disrespectful. Like, they didn't say, ain't that the son of ain't that Joseph's boy? Ain't that Joseph's little boy? He big now, he old now. No, ain't that the carpenter's son? Like, as if that's like a lowly position. It's a meek job. Carpenter, they build tables, chairs. Back in that day, he wasn't building no cathedral. He was a man that worked with his hands. He probably make you a fence. He could make a gate. He probably make a window. You understand? Ain't this the carpenter's son? That's disrespect.
Like you should know, he was just saying no virgin birth from that. It's a carpenter's son.
That's the carpenter's son.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
That's the carpenter's son.
And they know that. That's a good point.
Isn't that the carpenter's son?
All right, read it again, smooth. Read.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 55. Is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Hosea and Simon and Judas?
Come on.
And his sisters, are they not all with us?
And his sisters, didn't you used to holler at his one sister? And ain't his other sister, ain't that so-and-so girl? And this dude talking about he who? The king of the Jews? Come on, man. You see how our people are? See how nothing changes? Nothing changes. Read on.
Whence then has this man all these things?
Wait. Since when is he doing all these powerful works, man? Who is this guy? Who do he think he is? You understand? It's that spirit. Read on.
And they were offended in him.
They were what?
Offended in him.
That's because let me tell you something. It's hard for people that came up with you to digest you as their teacher. That offends people. Y'all came up with this dude. He my teacher now? Nah, bro. I know you. That's our people. Read on.
But Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house.
Say it again.
But Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and his own house.
Is Christ lying or telling the truth?
Telling the truth.
Is this Yahushua? Son of the Most High? Hosanna on the highest? It's Yahushua, right? They didn't give him no respect. So you think you're gonna watch 10 videos and come in the living room and sit everybody down and teach them that they Israel, and they just gonna listen to you? They didn't even listen to Christ, man. Read on 58, and this is the sad part.
And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief.
And that was in Nazareth, his hometown. He didn't do a lot of miracles and a lot of healing and show the people wonders in his home, the place where he wanted to do it most, because they wasn't believing on him. So you brothers, when it comes to teaching your family, calm down, learn the doctrine for yourself, and we're gonna get it out of Timothy. We're gonna get it out of Timothy, man.
2:15.
1 Timothy 2:15. Who got it? And I want another one out of Timothy.
I got it.
We're gonna stay in chapter 2. Go ahead.
It's the first book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15.
Read.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
She shall be what?
Saved in childbearing.
Read. That ain't
Second
Timothy 2:15.
My bad.
It's all right.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
So that means rightly dividing the word. That means you got precepts to match. You got one verse, then you got a precept to match, and probably another precept and another. If you like us, we could harp on. We beat the Bible up, man. Look at how our books look. Look at how our book look. The binding coming out is jacked up, man. Look how we going in, man. We use these things, man. It's not decoration. You feel me? So, don't be discouraged, but keep studying to learn for yourself. Because of this, stay in 1 Timothy chapter 2. Now jump down. 2 Timothy chapter 2. Now jump down to verse 20. What that say?
I got it. Go ahead. Second book of Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 20.
No, that's a good verse, but that ain't what I want. I want 24.
This is verse 24. Second book of Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach.
Now look, the Bible says the servant of the Lord must not strive, but we look in the comments and these brothers saying that they got the truth is striving. In the comment section of a Sabbath class that's teaching Israel to keep the laws of God and was edifying them on where all these Christian religions came from, valuable data that other brothers can take and incorporate into their teaching, because we're not claiming it. At no time did we say, and SOT brought you this info. Nobody said that. For what? The Most High put the Spirit on brothers to go hunt this information down. The Bible says the servant of the Lord must not strive. Who's your elders? Who taught y'all? Show me Saturday in the Bible. This is all the things that he was writing, on the side in the little letters while we showing our face teaching people. You know what I'm saying? Read it again.
Okay. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach.
Apt to what?
Apt to teach.
Apt means capable. So if you really going to be a teacher, you have to be capable to teach. That means you got to be skillful with it. To be a skillful teacher, you got to know your target audience. If you're talking to your family, they have a certain approach to learning because you know these people. You got to talk to them a certain way. It's certain brothers you can't come to them with book scholarship. They're going to go to sleep right in your face. While they talking to you, they're going to doze off while they talking because that don't captivate them. You got to. Yeah, we know they listening. You got to know how to talk to them. Then there's other brothers. They watching you every word you say. I'm gonna listen to you, but as soon as you say something wrong, I'm jumping in there, right? You got brothers that listen like that. It's a way to deal with them, right? You got other brothers that if they feel like you're about to cut them, they want to flee. Them brothers is frustrating because they challenge you And then when you about to disprove, but see, I don't want to argue. See, I don't want to argue. I'm just gonna go down the block because y'all don't know what y'all talking. We gotta be nice to him, right? Hold on, brother, hold on, brother, hold on. We not arguing, we talking. You gotta deal with him like that and draw him in. Then once you get him in the terror dome, you bust, right? That's like you got to be apt to teach.
And you got the Christian that just wants to keep changing the subject.
Hey, go from this to this to this, jump to this, right?
So answer a question with a question.
So you got to hit him with the one thing, brother. We'll deal with it. You know, we ain't going nowhere. Look at the sign. You know how we say, look at the signs. We ain't leaving. See the women sitting. We got food. Take your time. We're gonna be here all day. Let's do one thing, because that's called apt to teach, right? If you ain't apt to teach, do you think you need to be trying to teach your family? Finish that.
Apt to teach, patient, in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves.
Because your family opposed themselves by not accepting this truth. They opposed themselves. The truth is for them. So for them not getting with it, for whatever prejudice they have, is it you teaching it? Is it the doctrine? They oppose themselves. But what the Bible say?
If God peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of this truth.
So who's going to make them acknowledge what you're saying?
God.
Is you going to do it? Is it you? Just how talented you are as a speaker? Who's going to make them listen to what you're saying?
No.
The Most High. Anyway. So what you worried about trying to teach them for? If that's why I say you study and live it and let them watch you. And you know what they're going to do? When the Most High put the Spirit on them, they're going to ask you a question. That's your chance. Don't fumble. So who's in here? No, I'm not booting GMS. I want to say something. Can I say something? Or don't do that?
Nobody calls you no false prophet. Keep talking.
But can I say something? Y'all are bummites. The real top dudes in GMS, they salute us and show love. And we be talking to them.
I would call them Ottawa.
And when they're over us, we call them Ottawa. We like their videos.
We watch their videos. We sit here and watch their videos.
We sit here and watch them
hours at a time
and give commentary and think about and meditate on the precepts they bring out. As we do with the
brother from New Jersey. He's awesome.
He's talking about DT 144 elect. The brother out in Newark. Yeah. And I watch the brothers in London Central. GMS London Central. I watch them brothers. I watch of course I watch DocuTube, the main channel. I even listen to Gabar and him, that's Walk and Talk or GMS Mailbag. Hold on. He taught a lesson that's very important called familiarity breeds contempt.
God.
Yo, that lesson is very important when you run in the camp. That's food, right? But wait a minute though. Priest Zabak, gotta watch him. Expert street teacher. Undefeated. When he took an L.
I never seen it.
You never seen it, right? Gotta watch him. Right? Yakutas in DC. Gotta watch him. Yakutas got fervent spirit. He make you want to go to camp. Right? Gotta watch him. Priest Kahan.
Kahan is awesome.
In the Light of Zion. Gotta watch him. He's sincere.
And Kahan has all of his soldiers and captains in order. When you go to any of their feast days or when they're at camp, everybody's in order. You'll never catch anybody who's holding posts with a side camp.
Man, I used to watch this one brother at IUIC named Yaban out in Vegas. That brother was fire. All right? I don't think he's with the camp any longer, but I watched that brother. He was fire. Of course, we watch Yaradan. His old videos is like watching Michael Jordan or Clyde Drexler. You got to watch that. We watching One West Elders. We watch Yashuan from 1991. We watching him teach. And 89, we watching him. So, you know, if you get caught up in the spirit of my camp, me, my teacher, we, us, it's about us, you really a fanboy. You know what I'm saying? You like riding rod, you jocking. You know what I'm saying? Slow down, bro. It's all Israel. So you know, Jeremiah had scribes. Baruch was one of Baruch was his scribe. So Baruch gonna be like, I don't listen to Isaiah. I'm down with Jeremiah, man. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah got this word, man. What you listen to Isaiah for? He down with Hezekiah, man. We ain't listening to Isaiah. Don't make no sense. You know? I don't listen to Nehemiah. I'm you know what I'm saying? You know, Obadiah the one that got the real prophecy. I don't listen to Nehemiah. Like, what? That's how brothers sound, you know? But we be patient with them and we love them anyway, man. Because that's what the Most High is looking for from us. Is y'all still gonna love them brothers though? You know, you still gonna hope they get the kingdom? They're gonna talk evil of you, but that's why Christ taught you, blessed is he. That's when you are spoken evil of. Because the world hated me. You think they're gonna hate you? And these is all lessons. It's very important. All right. So the main point was your family opposes themselves, but it's God that's going to open their eyes anyway. So don't stress it. There's nothing to stress about. And shout out to the watchmen. Those are my brothers, man. Shout out to Bakwash, 14th Street Israelite. Yo, Bakwash will wear. Yo, Bakwash undefeated. When you seen the Bakwash take it, and he smacked the hell out that heathen that one day. Smacked that heathen Kufi off, man. Don't stop playing, man. Anybody else on the call got a question? It's getting late. Go ahead.
I had a question about slavery, just slavery here in America. When the heathen, I know a lot of our foremothers were raped by the slave masters, and I always wanted to ask this question as far as, you know, them conceiving with our foremothers and things like that. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, when that happens and things like that, does the bloodline just stop right there? Because they try to say, and I don't believe it really, but they try to say that all our foremothers was raped. I don't believe that. I just wanted to see what those viewpoints was on that, and any scriptures you may have on that. And if the bloodline was taken from there, and if it was, I heard things about the bloodline being cleansed after certain generations and things, and I just didn't know. So I would like to ask that question.
Read Titus 3:9. Read Titus 3:9. Titus 3:9. When everybody have it, say con.
Titus 3, chapter 9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain.
So we're not gonna worry about who the slave master raped and all that, because Christ taught a very important lesson. Let the wheat and the tares grow together. If you try to pluck up the tares, you might pluck up the wheat. Instead, let them grow together, and in the judgment, the angels will separate who is from who. Knowledge and understand that. So it's not for us to worry about genealogies. What we have to worry about is our spirit. All right? Do you want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments or not, bro? If something on you is wearing you down, like, yo, this is grievous, I don't like this, you might not be Jake. You might look like just like me and might not be Jake. You know? That's why we have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. You got to hope that you of the elect. You have to hope this. That's why Christ said, hey, Christ was like, and I know how he probably said it. He who endures to the end, the same shall be saved. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably said it like that. Like, hey, brother, if you can hang around to the end of this thing, then you'll see. You know? I ain't gonna give you no, I can't tell you now that you in. Right? What the woman do? The woman brought her my two sons. She said, these my two sons. Make it so that they sit with you in the kingdom. Christ was like, I can't do it. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? They gotta work out their own salvation just like everybody else. Right? You know what I'm saying? This walk is practical, man. It is. I believe the Bible. The Bible real. You know? All right, anybody else?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, brother.
Oh, no, the only reason I was asking that question is because, when I first got in the truth and I heard about the lineage of your father's thing, that was one of them automatic things. Well, okay, just coming off of history class, things I learned in the past. That's the only reason why I asked that question.
Okay. Con, read Romans 8:16.
All right, so this is Romans chapter 8, verse 16.
Bring it out.
The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
It got to be on your spirit, man. You got to have a burning desire to serve Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Yahweh. The brother said, one body Yahweh is a good camp. Yeah, we watched them brothers too. Damn, we forgot. We watched Sakari, man. We know them brothers.
Yeah, we love Sakari.
You know?
We held camp with Sakari for years.
We had Debak and Rakab out there on the left hand and the right hand side.
Shalom, those are my brothers. I love
reading precepts back to back. Cutting heathens. A lot of bloodshed on that corner. Not too many people walked out alive. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask to the brother's question. The Most High didn't want the races to mix. He knew we were mixed in this captivity. So every third generation that heathen blood go out of us. So at this point, it ain't really.
He keeps saying that. Yo, show us one precept that says the heathen blood goes out of you in the third generation. We're going to let you demonstrate.
I guess I should have done it because I don't know the exact scripture, but I thought the brothers might do that. You got to demonstrate. Don't take the bait. All right. Hey, and I want to say this. They're trying to draw the GMS brothers that's in the comments. Those brothers might not be GMS, man, because the GMS brothers got ordered and they're not petty. So like they would be busy right now. They wouldn't have time for this. These dudes are probably like want to be down with them and don't really go to camp and just hang around and claim them.
On YouTube, you can put whatever name you want.
Yeah,
you don't have to like prove it, or you could literally change your name whenever you want.
Yeah, you could probably just make that account, and then what they do is they try to draw us into a debate, like we debate into. Come on, brother, give me a break, man.
Leave him in there.
But brother, on the call, there's another brother that says Salakia. Go ahead. Read Matthew 8:8. The brother said Matthew 8:8. There was a Roman general. I believe the reason he's asking the question is because salvation coming to the other nations in that verse. Let's see. Start at verse 5.
This is Matthew chapter 8, verse 5. And then Yahushua was entered into Capernaum. There came unto him a centurion.
A centurion.
A centurion.
That means a captain of 100.
Beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented.
Who is the subject of the healing and the blessing? The servant, not the centurion, right? Okay, read on.
And Yahushua said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth. And to another, come, and he cometh.
Read.
And to my servant, do this, and he doeth. When Yahushua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you.
Wait, who is he saying this to? To them that what?
That follow.
Who is he talking to when he says to them that follow? He's talking to Israelites, right? Why did Christ he's the master teacher, the top strategist as far as teaching. He used parables to teach. That's how good he was, right? Everything was a parable. Why in that moment would he turn to the Israelites and go, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great a faith. No, not in Israel. Why did he say that to the people that followed?
Because the centurion knew who he was and had that much faith in him, more than Israel did, to say the things that he said.
Right? To put a fire under their ass. That's why he said it to them. He didn't say it to the centurion. Look, the Bible tells you who he said it to. He said it to them that followed. To you know that feeling like, look, man, or a football coach, man, look at them guys over there, man. They take practice serious, man. I've never seen y'all practice like that. You see what he's trying to do to you, right? You the subject.
Motivate you.
The other team he has nothing to do with them, but he's using them right now to what? Motivate you. It's hard to explain that to people. You know, people want to use this and goes, oh, see, Israel rejected Christ, and now the other nations can be saved. It's right here. That's not what this is saying. Christ was a real dude, man. Read on.
And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west and shall sit down with Abraham, Jacob, in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
If that scripture is verbatim in a generalistic sense, meaning what people mean to use it for, Israel is finished. Ain't no Israelite. All Israel's going to be cast into outer darkness. If that's the way you want to apply that scripture. See right here. It says the children are going to be cast out. So all Israelites is cast into outer darkness. So Moses is in the darkness. Solomon is out there, right? Joshua is out there. Obviously, that's not the case, right? So that doesn't mean that. It's the burden falls on you to break that down. What is he talking about? Go to Isaiah 11 and 11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 11.
What does it say?
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt. And from Patros. And from Cush. And from Elam.
Wow.
And from Shinar.
These are all heathen nations.
And from Hamath.
The Most High is going to take his hand and get his people out of all these heathen nations. Didn't Christ just say that? Many people shall come from the east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. So here's the prophecy. Read again.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria.
But who is he recovering from these heathen nations? The remnant of his people. It's going to say it. Read on.
From Assyria and from Egypt and from Patros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
Come on.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Now the nations is coming in there. Come on.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
The outcasts of who?
Of Israel.
Come on.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
So it's still talking about Israelites. So what Christ is really saying here, when you take it into plain English, he's saying, look, man, when I have not seen such a great faith in Israel, he's talking about where he's at right now. Not Israel, the nation. Here, I've not seen such a great faith in Israel, because the centurions comes from where? From Rome. I ain't seen great faith. What did he just tell you? He was in Nazareth. He couldn't even do no works there because there was no faith there. So what is he doing? He's chastising the people that followed with these words. I haven't even seen faith like this in Israel. And this dude is from Rome and he believes on me. He just heard of my legend. You see what I'm saying? And then he says, but remember, many people shall come from the east and the west and sit with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then that's the prophecy. Isaiah 11:11. People from Elam, people from Egypt, people from Cush, right? But that's still Israelites. When it says the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness, he's talking about the children that are from Israel, knowing who they are, that don't accept him. Ain't this the carpenter's son? They're going to be cast into outer darkness. It's hard to break that down. Christianity run right to the scripture like they got something, but they got to violate 59 scriptures to make their point. But what I just said, I incorporated other scriptures. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what that means, brother. You got it? All right. Anybody else on the call? Go ahead. What's up?
Okay, so I maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, and I'm studying, but I'm trying to find a more successful way of studying my Bible. I'm getting my precepts together a little bit, but I'm just trying to get it to where I have a better understanding and meditate a little bit better than I'm doing. So I don't know if brothers have any advice on a little bit more better way to study my Bible.
The sister asked, she needs a better way to study her Bible.
There's many different ways to study. You watch the videos. We're not the only ones that put the precepts on the bottom. I think IUIC does that also. Sons of Jacob, I love y'all, brother. In Oklahoma City, they do that also. So you can get the understanding of what they're teaching at the bottom of the video with the precepts. You watch classes like this, Watchmen for Israel, they do a great Sabbath class in the morning on the Shabbat.
Salakia. And Salakia Adawan. But also when you watch a video, like Adawan always say, don't just watch it for your entertainment. Watch it, and then when he says something or when a scoffer says something, pause the video and try to break it down yourself. And then play the video and see if your precepts match what the speaker is saying, or if you cut the scoffer or broke the lesson down right. Don't just watch it and just be watching it and describing precept. Pause it, break it down so you understand it, so you can teach it. Like we brought up, be apt to teach. See how they dealt with the situation, see what they thought about, see what was going around, see the person's spirit, facial expressions. Pay attention and try to break it down. Make sure you pause it too when those hard questions come about, to see if you know how to break it down. That's the main thing.
Many times you can tell what is being taught by the description in the video. So if you watch something on a certain subject, go to another video from another camp and see how they dealt with that, and put it together, line it up together, and get your own understanding. Because we might not teach in a way that you understand. Another camp might do that. So get it. I don't just listen to Yahweh all speak all day. I listen to many other speakers.
For real?
As long as they're teaching just thus saith the Holy Scriptures, you got to get this word. Huh?
Anybody else got a question? Chapa. Go ahead.
Yo, brother Yahweh, brother Shalom. My name is Todd. I'm calling from Nashville.
Brother Shalom.
Go ahead.
And
Shalom.
I wanted to know. I'm actually studying in the New Testament, Paul and Peter's ministry, and I was hoping that you could clarify a little bit more. I know that Peter's ministry is to the Israelites as well. Is that correct?
Hold on. You said you started you just started studying?
Well, I've been watching you guys' videos for a while. Really been enjoying it. I want to say, thanks for the work that you guys are putting in. And, I know that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to the breakdown of the Jews and Gentiles in the New Testament. And from the Christian background that I came from, a lot of the guys that I still know and work with, they still ascribe to the fact that, everybody can be saved. So forth. And I know according to the Israelites, that this message is for Israelites.
Hey, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something to you, brother. You say you coming from a Christian background?
Absolutely.
And you said you just started studying kind of like our persuasion?
Absolutely.
And you said you began your studies in Paul and Peter?
No. I didn't start there, but that's where I'm at now.
Oh, so you've read the law?
Yes.
And you read the exploits of David and the kingdom?
I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not 100% on that. No.
There you go. Hey, hold on. Paul and Peter can't wait. Learn what David was doing.
How we got there.
Who's David's who's the captain of the host in David's army? Confounded. His name is Joab. Who was the prophet set up that brought you David?
Right, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, you gotta go learn that stuff, man. Hey, Peter and Paul and them, that's later. Because Peter and Paul and them, they know these answers. Study that first.
Okay.
Don't skip nothing. Hey, don't skip the Judges, the book of Judges. It's good in there. Gideon, Samson is in there. Don't skip that. Hey, don't skip Samuel is like the most exciting 2 books of the Bible I ever read. You know?
Yes, sir.
So the thing about Paul is Paul didn't have all these books that people read about Paul from. Paul had the Old Testament. You got to get what the brother's saying. You got to get that together first, because he was a Pharisee. He knew the law. So to understand what he's saying, you got to understand that first.
Okay. Very good.
All right, so that basically, we're not saying we can't answer your question, but to teach you the concept of the Gentiles in the New Testament is 12 o'clock. So that's a lesson in itself. So
when you want that lesson, watch our video.
It's like either this week or the week before.
The pastor. The one that we went for an hour with the pastor.
Christian pastor gets his doctrine smashed to pieces.
Oh, yeah. Watch that video.
And that'll give you a lot of edification on who the Gentiles are. But even Eliel was teaching it. Eliel was teaching it earlier this week.
Malaki Eliel.
Teach it twice.
You know. So just.
Man, I appreciate you, brothers, man. For real. Thank you for your work. Continue studying, man. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for studying. Yeah, all praise to the Most High. Thank you for studying with us.
All praise.
Shalom. Go ahead.
So, does it get easier? Cause with me right now, it seems like I'll just to myself, I'll be on my studies and stuff, and my family kind of they'll pick at me to ask me what I'm doing. So I tell them what I'm doing, and they don't want to hear it at all. Like sometimes they might even act a little interested. It's and then once I start telling them stuff, they try to start going against me. And in my defense, I feel like I'm not trying to teach them, but they ask me, and I'm trying to.
Hold on, buddy. Let's
easier to avoid the folly, pretty much.
I couldn't hear him.
Did you ask a question or you made a statement?
Salakia. Like a question does it get easier to not talk to your family? Like my family keeps acting Like, I'm not. I know I'm not ready to teach right now. I know, like, yeah, I'm the milk, like, and
No.
like
That
they'll ask
Salaki.
questions, like,
That's a case by case basis right there. Because me, I'm the black sheep. I don't speak to my family. Like my mom will call me once a month, like, "Are you all right?" Because you don't want to hear what I'm saying anyway. You don't want to accept what I'm not gonna come and go to church with you on Sunday. I'm not gonna go celebrate my niece's birthday. I'm not coming to Thanksgiving or none of that stuff. So to each is, I mean, it's gonna be different. To some people, it's hard because you want to be around them a lot. Me, I want to be around these brothers. I wait till Saturday. Like, I wait till Friday night so I come over here and jump in this man fridge. Read the scriptures.
Yeah, but wash your hands first.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't put up new rules. Like
So
to an app.
some people, and I understand because when I first came in the truth, I wanted to teach my family. I wanted to teach my mother. I wanted to teach my aunt. And it's just contention. They don't want to listen to you because you're the carpenter's son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that guy who used to come home high. Like, you trying to teach me the Bible. You coming high with 3 different girls in the house at the same time. You don't want to left the gun in my car. Like, why do I want to listen to you for? You don't want I got to bail out. I got to put up the house to bail out some nonsense. I didn't want to listen to you. You turned around and found a different way. So for some people, it's easier because you didn't really stray all that much, and you got a good with your family. So maybe they do want to listen, but okay. That's not a question that is easily answered because everybody's situation is not going to be the same. But what I would say is getting these scriptures and work out your own salvation. Because if the Most High wants them, He'll have them. If He doesn't, a lot of Israelites teach that work out your own salvation and pray for your family, and the Most High might give them to you in the kingdom. But the Most High might destroy your family too.
That's true.
He might just take you, and that's the only one He wanted out of the family, and that's it. And you got to deal with that. Like, it is what it is. Not everybody's meant for this truth. We can't keep trying to sugarcoat it just to make people feel good. The truth of the matter is, He might not want the rest of your family. He might not want my mom. He might not want my wife. He might not want my kids. He might not want me. I don't know. But I got to work out my own salvation.
Facts.
And endure to the end.
This brother said, Joel, did you ever have another conversation with your aunt after you ate that cake? Nope. You know what my aunt does? She'll send me a message on Facebook and say, I see you, baby, but I just want you to know that sometimes the Bible, everything ain't literal, baby. And she don't like how we use the scripture for everything. She don't want me to take it so serious. You see? But I got a God lover, you know what I'm saying? Most High have mercy on her soul, man. I want to deal with something. Last thing we're going to deal with. The new moon and why we don't observe the new moon. Salakia, why we don't observe the Sabbath according to the new moon. Why we don't. Right? These brothers keep asking, right? We could go into that. The next new moon is August 29th, right? What did the Bible say? The 7th day shall be what? Your Sabbath day. You shall do no work on the 7th day, right? The 7th day. The brothers who go by the doctrine that the new moon brings in your beginning of weeks, fine. We have camp with brothers that do that. But these brothers right here are scoffing heavily, and they demanded an answer why we don't keep that tradition, right? Open your calendar. Open your calendar. Go to August 29th. We got a new moon list here, Israel. These are the new moons. Brother Naquam put this together for us. Okay? The next new moon is August 29th at even. The next new moon after that, I mean, when you look in the sky and ain't no moon, it's September 29th at even. And then it goes down all the way to next April to Passover, right? The brother did all that work, right? So these brothers would say this. The beginning of your days would start on August 29th on the new moon. That would be day 1, right? Or you would count from that day. You would count 7 days from that day, right? Go to August 29th. I'm going to show you something. We're going to show you something for the brothers in the comments that keep asking. August 29th, count 1 day. It's the 30th, right? 2 days is the 31st, right? 3 days, it's the 1st of September. 4 days, it's the 2nd of September. 5 days, it's the 3rd of September. 6 days, it's the 4th of September. 7 days, it's the 5th of September. That would be their first Sabbath after the new moon. 7 days, right? Because the new moon itself is the Sabbath. Then it would count 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's their next Sabbath, right? Right? Brothers, we just showed you that the next new moon is August 29th, right? And every 7 days, you have to what? Keep the Sabbath, right? Count 7 days from the 5th. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What day is it? It's the 12th. Count 7 days from the 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What day is it? 19. It's the 19th. Count 7 days from the 19th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What day is it? 26. It's the 26th. When is the next new moon? It's the 29th, right? That's 3 days from there, right? So now you just having a Sabbath on the 26th. The Lord said, every 7 days ye shall do no work and rest, for it is my Sabbath, right? What happens in 3 days from the 26th? It's the new moon. What would them brothers do then? They would begin counting all over again. So now let's count 7 days from the 26th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next Sabbath should be, oh, I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next Sabbath should be October 3rd, right? They will not have Sabbath on October 3rd. They will not. They will start again on the 29th. And then they'll count 7 days from then. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? They will miss a Sabbath to keep the Sabbath. The Lord ain't telling me to miss no days. Every 7 days, right? So we prefer not to play with the Most High. We keep a regular Sabbath. I don't care if it ain't no Saturday. I don't care if it ain't no Monday in the Bible. Bruh, 7 days from today, we're going to be having Sabbath again, right? And then 7 days from that day, we're going to have Sabbath again, right? And ain't no wavering, right? Because that's comfortable to us, right? These brothers won't accept that. But they willing to miss a Sabbath to keep the Sabbath, right? You see? Now, was it us going around telling brothers, yo, you wicked for observing the new moon and starting your days from the new moon? Did we ever do that to anybody? Do we see brothers from the other camps that we have camp with that keep the lunar Sabbath and tell them, yo, y'all got to start keeping that lunar Sabbath, bro. Y'all got to keep the regular Sabbath every 7 days. Do we bother them? No. Why? Because those are brothers, and the Bible says this. Go to Colossians 2 and 16.
I got it. Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink.
Or in what?
Or in respect of any holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days.
So, do we go around judging brothers how they observe the Sabbath day? We don't, because the Bible told us not to do it. So what do these brothers do? Look at his response. How juvenile. We do not miss a Sabbath. You're bearing false witness. The new moon is a feast day marking the new month. What do that have to do with what I just showed you on a calendar when every seventh day shall be a Sabbath unto you? You have to skip a seventh day, reset, start your count again, and then begin seven. See, yo, you brothers want to do that because that's the way you see it in sincerity and truth. We never said nothing. Matter of fact, when brothers come around and we're not on Sabbath and they're telling us, yo, today's our Sabbath day, yo, we don't press upon the brothers to drink. We don't ask them to do nothing. We respect them and they still be around us. And we respect their Sabbath because we love our brothers. These dudes can't see that and they can't understand that. That's why they want to, Ikarov said it's getting hot. Hey, that's why they want to change the subject. Blah, 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 blah. Look, this brother can't even get it. Where are we skipping a set? Go to Exodus 20. Go to Exodus 20. You there?
20.
Read the law on the Sabbath.
4, 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Shalaki, this is Exodus 20 and 8.
Come on.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Come on.
6 days shall thou labor.
So 6 days from the new moon shall you labor. Did it say that? It ain't say that. It says 6 days shall you labor. 6 days. Not 6 days from the new moon. 6 days straight. You going to work, brother. But what?
And do all thy work.
But
the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
When does it say the seventh day, but we're going to do it this Sabbath? Does it say that? So, brother, you acting simple, man. This brother said we never skip a seventh day. We just showed it to you on the calendar. The new moon is the 29th. The next new moon is the 29th. You cannot keep regular 7 days on that pattern. You have to skip 3 days, start again, and then have a seventh day. Which, hey, if that's what you want to do, brother, Shema Mashiach Yahushai, may the Most High bless you on your Sabbath day.
Keep the laws.
Or they
keep 2
Sabbaths in the same week.
Or they keep 2 Sabbaths in the same week.
They run it through. So their month is long.
What scripture is this? So, but he's mad at us like we don't know the scriptures, but what they're doing is not in a book based on what these guys are saying. Based on what these guys are saying. Because I bet you other brothers that keep the lunar Sabbath have a more eloquent explanation for what they do. But these guys, I'm just getting at these dudes that scoffing in the comments like some clowns, man. You feel me? Not even, I ain't even want to insult them. I take that back, Salaki. I shouldn't have called him a clown. But I'm just saying, you don't make no sense. All right? So Israel, you will have to literally, if on the seventh day, your new moon is 3 days later, that means in 3 days, right? You have the new moon as your Sabbath, which is the Sabbath to everybody. It's the new moon. And then 7 days from there, you have your next weekly Sabbath, right? That means you skip 4 days because it's 3 days in the middle. 4 days make 7. You took these 4 out and started counting from here 7 again. So you did this, right? Your Sabbath should have been here. I'm trying to get a visual aid. They can't see what I'm saying, right?
I can see that.
The reason we don't play like that is because the Bible told us 6 days you're going to work, but on the seventh day, and the Most High said, that's my Sabbath. So, let us respect the Lord. We're going to keep a regular Sabbath. Give a damn if Friday ain't in the Bible. So what? Days are in the Bible, and I know when the date ends and begins. So 7 days, I'm going to be keeping a Sabbath. 7 days from that day, I'm going to be keeping a Sabbath, brother. Hey, don't we have double Sabbath? When the new moon come in, we have the new moon, but we still keep that regular seventh-day Sabbath. It might be the next day. It happened on Passover. Passover was a Sabbath. The next day was our regular Sabbath. We had double Sabbath. And was we happy?
Yeah, calm.
We was happy, man. So whether you brothers like it, understand it, believe it or not, we're going to keep our regular Sabbath day till the chariots come. All right? And you know what the Most High is going to do then? He's going to say, brothers, that was a shadow of things to come.
That's right.
But I appreciate your effort.
That's right.
Now we're going to keep the Sabbath from the day of your deliverance. 7 days from this day, he might say that. 7 days from this day will be your next Sabbath day. Khan, everybody going to be like, Khan, Adawan. Because you know, Ezra's told you that he's going to be taller than everybody else. We're going to be like, Khan, Adawan. You know what I mean? Come on, man. These brothers not spiritual, man. They trying to be so spiritual that they not spiritual, right? But these dudes might not even, I don't know. I don't know why we wasted time with them. Let's face the East and pray to the Most High, man. Let's face the East and pray to the Most High. Oh, hold on. We don't pray on the live stream. If you want to hear the prayer, call into the class. Yo, brothers, come around. We got to say something before we close out. All right. Brothers, come around. We got to say something before we close out. You know what we want to say before we close out, Kano? I'm going to let you say it.
Romans 10, what's going on?
No. Yeah. Let him know it's over. Let him know it's over. Let him know it's over.
He can't get away. Second Ezra 6.
He can't get away.
He can't get away, man. Just tell him his judgment, man.
Hey, Esau, you bound to be in shackles. And then when we're done with you, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom are going to put you in flames.
That's right. That's right.
So you can watch us all you want. You could tap my phone. You can see me in jail. We don't care. We'll be right on that corner. You can circle the block 10 times next time.
Yeah.
Keep circling the block. We're still going to be out there putting in this work.
It's over, Esau. You finished. Your kingdom is done. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.